Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to today's Quality Club Meeting Seminar under the theme Process, Procedures, and Pro-Leadership, organized by Division C, District 20, Region 11. As this is a virtual event, please note the following rules. Make sure you're muted at all times unless you're presenting or participating. Turn off your cameras if you have to leave the spot for any reason. And please refrain from eating while your camera is on. Before we begin the event, we would like to pay a special tribute to two people. Today marks the 55th Memorial Day of the founding father of Toastmasters International, Dr. Ralph C. Smedley. We would also like to pay tribute to one of our members, our fellow Toastmasters in District 20, DTM Amado Taduran, who passed away recently. DTM Amado was the past president of Filipino Sabansang Bahrain Toastmasters Club, past president of the IIEE, the Integrated Institute of Electrical Engineers, Bahrain chapter, past president of PPO, the Philippines Professional Organization, a sponsor of PTEP Toastmasters Club, and associated with the following organizations: Knights of Rizal, Philippines Professional Organization, Toastmasters International, Integrated Institute of Electrical Engineers, and the Philippine Teachers Association, Bahrain. He was humble, generous, and kind by nature. I would like to request all of you to turn off your cameras so that we can observe 1 minute of silence. Thank you. May their souls rest in peace forever. And now I would like to invite distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Jalal, the Division C Director, to open the event.
Thank you, our Chief Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Liliana. With great honor and pleasure, I, Toastmaster Khalid Jalal, considering myself a servant leader, before considering myself the District 20 Division C's Director, taking the privilege today before you all to call the long-awaited Quality Club Seminar covering 3 important trainings: Toastmaster of the Day, General Evaluation, and Parliamentary Procedures meeting to order. Now, let me invite our captain of the ship, the master of ceremonies of today's meeting. She is a dynamic, talented, and creative personality. She is an IT trainer by profession with hobbies of painting and gardening. She's a great speaker, evaluator, and a district level evaluation champion. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with a huge round of applause our master of ceremonies, Toastmaster Srilata Kodavarti. Toastmaster Srilata, floor is yours.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Jalal, for that energy booster to me. It has certainly helped me. Chief Guest, Second Vice President, Toastmasters International, DTM Morag Mathison. District 20 Director, DTM Mohammed Salim. District 20 Program Quality Director, DTM Alifia. District 20 Club Road Director, DTM Khalid Abdullah. Division C Director, DTM Khalid Jalal. Region 11 Recognition Officer, Toastmaster Roshan Lewis, immediate past Region 11 Advisor DTM Ali Shahbaz, immediate past district officials, other dignitaries present in this meeting, fellow Toastmasters, and most esteemed guests who have joined us from all over around the world. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all. A warm welcome to the Quality Club Meeting Seminar organized by Division C. Dr. Raj C. Smedley, the founder of Toastmasters, believed we learn best in the moments of enjoyment. The organizing team at Division C has worked hard to give you those moments of enjoyment while learning the best practices. So have your cup of tea or coffee by your side and learn while enjoying this virtual session. And of course, talking about the virtual session brings us to the introduction of our first team member who is going to help you all and us to moderate this session, Toastmaster Akbar. Now, it's quite common for any sales personnel, if you talk to them, all you hear is about targets and the numbers. But this sales account manager from Kanu IT seems to have a different perspective in life. Make the world a better place by beginning with self. Please welcome the president of Young Adult Toastmasters, Toastmaster Akbar Khan. Please welcome on the screen.
Thank you, Master of Ceremony, fellow dignitaries, fellow Toastmaster, guests around the world, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. My name is Akbar Khan, and I am your head of IT and the moderator for today's events. I will be taking care of your all distractions. Like, for example, if you want to make any kind of request, you just have to raise your hand. Me or my co-host is gonna give you the service. Also, if you have, I will be unmuting and muting as well. So to make this event a very successful event without any kind of distraction. I wish you all the best. I wish all the speakers, all the guests, all the best, and good luck. Back to you, Master of Ceremony.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akbar, for that introduction of the moderating session. Fellow Toastmasters, well, that doesn't stop you from clapping. So encourage our role players and give your support by unmuting or getting your video on and clapping, or use the reactions for clapping and showing your support. That brings the introduction to our next team member, who seems to be a perfect fit for the role he has chosen today. He's working at DHL, a cycling enthusiast, VP Education of KMCC Toastmasters. I would like to welcome on screen the timer for today, Toastmaster Ronnie John. Toastmaster Ronnie?
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. Good afternoon. As a Master of Ceremonies has already introduced me, I'm the timer for the day. As a timer, I'm responsible for monitoring and notifying the speakers whenever they reach their thresholds. Today, there are many wonderful speakers, and let me explain the timing criteria. For the dignitaries, the allotted time is 5 minutes and will be notified at 3, 4, and 5 minutes. For the TMRE and the GE role, the presentation time is 15 minutes each and will be notified at 12, 13, and 15 minutes, followed by a QA session of 10 minutes each and will be notified at 8, 9, and 10 minutes. For the parliamentary procedure theoretical session, the allotted time is 45 minutes and will be notified at 41, 43, and 45 minutes. All the speakers will be notified with the green, yellow, and red color respectively as they progress through. By the time you see the yellow color, try wrapping up your session towards conclusion. In addition, it is highly recommended to pin my video to keep track of the timing. Good luck to all the speakers and hope to have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you, and back to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ronnie, for that. Fellow Toastmasters, I promised you that we are going to have a fun-filled meeting today. So just to add more spice to the meeting, I've already shared a file through the chat box. Please download it as it contains a crossword. Now, clues for this crossword will be provided to you throughout the session. Note down the clues and complete your crossword. It's a training session at the end of the day, Toastmasters. So let's see, all the trainers are going to watch you out. How much you're going to learn through this session, we are definitely going to see. So download the Word PDF document, and I'm going to share the first clue with you now. Are you ready, Toastmasters? I want some reactions at least. Yes.
Yes, we are ready.
Okay, here comes the first clue. So this is this crossword I have shared with you. And here comes the first clue. Be it a profession or Toastmasters, this is definitely needed. This is 6 across, so you can see where it is. 6 across, be it a profession or Toastmasters. This is a must. So have these clues noted, and at the end of the session today, have your crossword completed, and let's see who is going to complete the crossword first. Ready for the challenge? Yes, fellow Toastmasters, let's move on with our next item on the agenda. The organizing team definitely has been working very hard for the past few weeks to make this event successful. So one such member I'm going to invite on the screen, past president of TK's Toastmasters Club, a teacher by profession who received Outstanding Teacher Award, a humorous speaker who competed twice at the division level, and who believes that anything can be achieved by pushing your limits. Welcome event chair Toastmaster Vandana to give your address.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Lata. Alone, we do so little. Together, we can do so much. I was wondering whether this quote could be true if we were a virtual team. Today, I realize that it is true and very much possible. A warm welcome to the second Vice President of Toastmasters International, DTM Morag Matheson, our chief guest. District 20 Director, DTM Muhammad Salim, a man of action. Program Quality Director, DTM Alifia Lakdawala, the bold and beautiful. The Club Growth Director, DTM Khalid Abdullah, a man of mission. Division C Director, DTM Khalid Jalal, a man of determination. Respected dignitaries of District 20 and Toastmasters and guests from all over the world, welcome to you all. To name a few countries who have registered for this event: Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, UAE, India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Malaysia, Philippines, Grenada, Tanzania, Nigeria, Bahamas, Japan, Canada, USA. Thank you very much, Toastmasters, for joining the event. This indeed is an overwhelming surprise for our team. I call my team as tremendous team. Their inputs, their creativity, their hard work paved the way to this grand event. The two gems of our guidance committee, Division Director DTM Khalid Jalal and Region Level 11 Recognition Officer Toastmaster Roshan Lewis guided us all through. District 20 PQD DTM Alifia and Quality Training Coordinator Toastmaster BG Gittens supported us at each mode. I extend my immense gratitude to each and every one of you for your untiring efforts. About our trainers and role players of today, if I say, when I contacted these members for various roles, they readily accepted the challenge. To bring such a powerful team of Toastmasters together in one virtual platform, it is possible, and thanks to my tremendous team, this event is a reality. Great job, team. I'm so proud to be a Toastmaster because the education of Toastmaster teaches us how to turn obstacles into opportunities. I am a teacher by profession. I stand out and reach to the other teachers because in Toastmasters, we will always be one step ahead. Today, you are that one step ahead by joining this event. In our program lineup, we have training sessions from 3 brilliant and dynamic leaders. Toastmaster Snehal Sawan will guide us and let us explore through the event for the role of Toastmaster of the Day. DTM Noor Muhammad will present us about the general evaluation role. Last but not the least, our DTM Ali Shahbaz Ali, immediate past region level advisor, will advise us with his immense knowledge and expertise in parliamentary procedures. You will then witness a live session comprising of 10 wonderful Toastmasters from Bahrain and Kuwait who will act as role players as members of a fictional club named Pro Leaders Toastmasters, enacting various scenarios. This act will tell us how to follow the correct and the best practices when it comes to parliamentary procedure. Stay tuned as we explore new horizons of these 3 domains, escalate to great heights in life and excel exponentially. Today's event was a plan of weeks, and the past 1 week was filled with mock sessions every day from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Thank you all to all the team members in advance for their unwavering support, determination, and dedication. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. Back to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you, even Chair Toastmaster Vandana. Yes, together we can achieve. With that note, let's get into the before we begin the main event. Let us hear a few words from our chief guest and of course the district officials. I'm not sure how many of you are aware, but when Toastmasters was started, women were not allowed. And today's session, well, look at the coincidence. The event chair, head of education, head of registrations, the chief sergeant at arms, and the main supporter of this event, the program quality director. Now, if I go on, we will have a lot of list of women who are all supporting this particular event. So it makes me furthermore proud when we have the chief guest to be a woman. First member of District 95 and the first woman from Europe to be in the position of second vice president, and who is on her way to become the international president 2023-2024, a self-employed professional development consultant and chair of board of Child Sponsorship Charity, Germany. Please welcome on screen distinguished Toastmaster DTM Morag Mattison.
Thank you very much. It's great to be with you. District Director, Programme Quality Director, Club Growth Director, Division Directors, my fellow Toastmasters and friends, thank you for this invitation to join you for your Quality Club seminar today. As you've perhaps picked up, I have recently been elected to serve as the second Vice President of Toastmasters International. I wonder if you can imagine the very first event I attended 3 days after my election. I'll not keep you in suspense. It was a meeting of my home club. For me, this is one of the most important things I do, and it's something I love to do. I hope you love your club too. Why is it so important? It's important because I believe the club is where the magic of transformation begins. You've seen those people who could barely speak and some who could barely stop speaking. Maybe you were one of them too. You see their progress and you get to be part of their journey just as they are part of your journey. I think a club is a community of learners focused on the mission of the club. So of course, I'd need to ask, what is the club mission? Well, I won't ask you to remember it. I'll tell you. Our club mission is in 3 parts, I think. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience. That's the what we do, in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills. That's the why of what we do, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. That's the result or the fruit of what we do. So what does that mean for us? It means that in each club, every officer has meeting responsibilities as well as ongoing responsibilities. For example, the Sergeant at Arms, how you set that meeting up at the moment online probably, how you do it, your attitude, what you bring to that influences the experience that guests and members have. And the outputs of your work are very visible for everyone. It's also important for everyone who takes a meeting role. Today, you're going to be thinking about the Toastmaster of the meeting and the General Evaluator role specifically, but every role in a meeting matters. For example, if you're the grammarian, how you respond to someone who's perhaps giving a presentation in a language that is not their first language, how do you be supportive there? If you're giving an evaluation, how do you leave your speaker wanting to speak again? When we take roles, we show tremendous respect when we listen to the presenters in those roles. And it's the same for the Toastmaster of the meeting and the General Evaluator. You have a big influence in quality of that meeting and what that experience is like for a member and whether a guest would want to come back, never mind join your club. So doing the role is one thing. How we do it is just as important as what we do. The aim of our efforts is always to make a difference for our members, including ourselves in this, so that each one of us is empowered to develop communication and leadership skills that result in greater self-confidence and personal growth. And as we deliver that mission in our clubs, we change lives for good. We change our environment for good, our companies, our communities. I would encourage us all to think about that mission and how we can deliver that in every single thing we do in our clubs. District 20, I wish you great success in the year ahead and a wonderful workshop today. Toastmaster, back to you.
Thank you, DTM Morag Mathison. That was very inspiring. I really got inspired by those words. Completely amalgamated everything, including the Toastmasters, including the personal life, and also giving us the importance of each individual role. Thank you very much for that. Now I would like to welcome a person whose no problem attitude has earned him an unofficial title called Mr. Fix-It, because he can fix anything and everything when it comes to Toastmasters. Well, along with Mr. Fix-It, he seems to have owned several other titles, including an admired leader, a versatile social work maniac, a lighthouse for many aspiring leaders and winning champions. Please welcome on screen District 20 Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Mohammed Salim.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. Actually, I couldn't share my screen because I'm driving. First of all, let me thank you, Division C, for organizing this wonderful initiative and taking it so meticulously and well planned. Actually, that's always that the class of Division C. What it makes a huge difference. Division C is known for it. Actually, now let me acknowledge the presence of our second Vice President DTM Morag for joining us here. So thank you very much, ma'am. First of all, on behalf of District 20, I would like to congratulate and thank you for being here. And we have our own program quality director, DTM Alifia Lakdawala. We have our club growth director, DTM Khalid Abdullah. We have our Division C director, the charming DTM Khalid Jalal, we have the event chair, Toastmaster Vandana. Actually, she's been chasing me for a quite long time, actually. And we have other division directors, area directors. Good afternoon to one and all, actually. This workshop, actually, it's threefold, and I'm really going to enjoy this workshop, particularly the parliamentary workshop. I really need it because it's going to be the council meeting next year. Next week, we are going to have our council meeting, and I very much need this workshop so that I can prepare myself actually to how to handle the council, actually, because council is the place where we get a lot of opinions and suggestions, and we do have motions coming in, and I need to really handle those motions. At this particular point of time, the best thing is that the budget would be passed, actually. For that, our district finance manager should be prepared also. Now, what is the difference between, most of you must be wondering, what is the difference between a court and a council, actually? This is where court is a place wherein we get a judgment, because that is a standard set of documents which they follow, the laws, bylaws. Whereas in Toastmasters, council meeting is something where the members are heard and it goes with the majority of the members' opinion. So that is where the parliamentary procedure workshop is very key for us to handle this. And I'm sure it will be a wonderful learning experience by DTM Ali Shahbaz Ali, a true parliamentarian, actually. I cannot say much more, actually. He's a true parliamentarian and he's been there, doing this service all these years. And I would like to thank him, actually. I think Bahrain and the GCC can adopt him as an official parliamentarian for their events also. So thank you very much for inviting me here. All the best for Division C organizers. Over to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Muhammad Salim, for joining us. And you have touched upon a very important point, leaders learning from leaders. So even if we have become leaders, it doesn't matter. We still can learn from others. It's a very important thing. And thank you for even giving us a glimpse into the parliamentary session, which we are eagerly looking forward. Now, fellow Toastmasters, I would like to welcome a wonderful leader who has been guiding us for the past few weeks, a physiotherapist by profession who loves serving her community and her patients with a holistic approach. She served various roles at club, area, division, and now district level. And no surprise, she is a recipient of several awards. Best Division Director Award of the Year, Best YLP Coordinator for the biggest YLP conducted in Kuwait. Welcome, Program Quality Director of District 20, Distinguished Toastmaster Alifia Lakdawala.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. Let me start welcoming our second Vice President, DTM Morag Matheson, our immediate past Region Advisor, DTM Ali Shahbaz Ali, our District Director, DTM Muhammad Salim, our Club Group Director, DTM Khalid Abdullah, the man of this hour, the Division C Director, DTM Khalid Jalal. I think we have in the house our district office members, our PRM, Toastmaster Maram, various other division directors. I can see Division F Director, DTM Kajetan, and passionate area directors, Area 2, Area 10, Area 21, Area 25, Area 28, members of Division C, members of District 20, and audience across the globe, good afternoon. Let me begin my speech or my felicitation for this event into two parts. One is for the organizing committee and one per se as for the event, which is we are holding today. Let me start with the organizing committee. What should I say? Meticulous planning to the T. They have been on their toes. Event chair Toastmaster Vandana, Toastmaster Shushmita, the head of education, and the supporting structure of Division C, the various role players who have, all of them have given their 100%. So much of meticulous planning that we all have received individual virtual backgrounds. Everything, rehearsals, every step, every word of the script has been planned. Every action which was thought has been put on paper and they have executed. So kudos to Division C. I think Division C Director DTM Khalid, you are lucky to have such a brilliant and supporting team with you this year. Coming to the event per se, in the beginning of the year when we were laying down various education events, Toastmaster TTM Khalid came and he said that he would be interested in parliamentary procedures. And this is the way we started and we came to the Quality Club seminar. In the morning today, we had another meeting of Area 17 where we did Best Club Climate, where we explained what we can do differently to bring our membership back to what we are right now, because this year we all are doing it virtual. And how long can we sustain it? How long can we have a good membership retention? Adding to that, this particular workshop, where we are particularly looking into two, I would say one of the important roles when it comes to meeting, Toastmaster of the Day and the General Evaluator. Let's understand it. Let's learn what are the best practices these roles can offer us. And of course, the parliamentary procedures. We sometimes feel that, parliamentary procedures should not be known, should not be practiced, but that forms the crux of a meeting, crux of a club meeting. As the second vice president said, that this is the place where we learn. This is the community where we get connected. I would say this is the place where we learn, unlearn, and even unearth certain skills which we don't have or we have still need to realize. So let's learn in the best moment from our club. Let's practice. Let's bring quality to whatever role we do. Whichever role you are serving, let's do it full-heartedly. Let's do it with quality. And let's put what Toastmasters International has put in the books into practice. I think if we do that, we all will evolve into better communicators, better leaders, not only in our personal life, but in Toastmasters also. So my urge to you members is that if your area or division or club members are not attending, knock them, tell them the event is on and they should come and see how well we have planned and how well this division is going to execute. Back to you, Master.
And thank you, DTM Alifia, for those wonderful and inspiring words. I'm sure the division director is all smiling. And thank you for giving the glimpse into the session again. The next official I'm going to invite on screen is a member of 3 clubs. And what amazed me is his purpose in life: to lead his kids by being a good example of a father. Club growth director became Khalid. I'll definitely say this. The creativity and the dedication that you show in the roles you take. As a moderator, if I remember in the District 20 contest, you truly lead by example. So I would like to welcome on screen the District 20 Club Growth Director, distinguished Toastmaster Khalid.
Thank you so much, Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Srilata, for the wonderful introduction. Thank you so much. I hope that I live by with your words. Let me first recognize the presence of our second Vice President of Toastmaster International, DTM Murag, our own, we always say our own immediate past Region 11 Advisor, DTM Ali Shahbaz Ali, DD, our District Director, DTM Muhammad Salim, and our ever glamorous PQD, DTM Alifia Laktawala, Division C Director, who they always confuse his name with my name, DTM Khalid Jalal. And I can see lots of other division directors. I can just recognize their names: DTM Ahmed Asif, DTM Faisal. I saw his message before I come in, and DTM Kajitan, and all other division directors who I missed. PRM, our PRM, district PRM, all other area directors, and the lady of today, the chairperson, Vandana. Good afternoon to one and all. Now, if I may ask a question, what would make your club growth director awake at night during this time of the year?
October renewals.
Exactly. Renewals, renewals, and renewals. And this is what makes me awake at night these days. Let me just give you quick statistics on where we are right now. We have 140 clubs. Only out of those 140 clubs, we have only 51 paid clubs. We had 26 clubs achieve the lead and win, which would be 20 renewals or payments. And we have only 9 clubs who achieved Smedley Awards, which is too low compared to last year. Last year we were 24. We achieved 24 Smedley Awards. And of course, if I ask one question, everyone would say, because of the current situation, we cannot really go beyond that. But what if we look at that same coin from a different angle? What if we look at the positivity or the way that we can move forward and get more members? They always keep on asking me, well, our club members are having more difficult time than now. Definitely, that's exactly where we are right now. So my advice to all of you here, if you want to go and ask someone for renewal, don't go and ask for renewal directly. Just ask about what is happening with them. Let's care about the members and not the numbers at this moment of time. Let's look at members as a human being. We all are suffering. We know that. And it's really difficult, not only in Toastmasters arena, but everywhere around. But at the same time, if we look at growth, we have to be creative at this point in time. We are blessed to have Zoom and other virtual platforms, so we can always invest in our time and have open houses. It's as if it is free. We don't need to have any feast anymore. We don't have to give away things anymore. Let's just have it as certificates, normal certificates for members who are attending. Let's make it simple. Let's do speech crafts. Let's go to companies and just say, well, we are here. We will do it for you for free. Why not? Let's go and expand on the Toastmaster. Let's take this as an opportunity and not just an obstacle. I hope this would be a call for all of us, because I wouldn't be able to do it myself. Yes, we have great leaders of District 20, and I am sure that whatever targets we are having or hitting last year, we would definitely reach it this year. Thank you so much for being here, and let's enjoy the session today. And over to you, Master of Ceremony.
Thank you, DTM Khalid. That's the reason why I say DTM Khalid, to be on the safe side. Well, I think all the VP memberships who are there in this particular session are going to definitely take that tip that you have provided them. Members, not the numbers. Thank you for that once again. Fellow Toastmasters, I'm sure you're getting a lot of tips already within the session. Now let's move on to the next person whom I'm going to invite on the screen. This Toastmaster believes in empowering and encouraging people around him with a big smile. And that's the reason why, despite trying to run away from the Toastmaster, he could not. Instead, he ended up being a chartered member of 2 clubs and making those clubs distinguished and president distinguished clubs. Working at Gramco as a senior group ICT manager and the World CIO Award winner for the year 2019. Please welcome on screen Toastmaster Khalid Jalal, distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Jalal.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Lata, for the lovely introduction. Trust me, everyone, I'm not going to talk about renewals or new clubs or payments. That part is covered by the other Khalid who has the same name as myself. Honorable Second Vice President of Toastmaster International, DTM Murad Madison, immediate past, Region 11 Advisor, Distinguished Toastmaster Ali Shahbaz Ali, District 20 Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Mohammed Salim, District 20 Program Quality Director, DTM Alifia Lagdawala, person who has my name as well, District 20 Club Growth Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Abdullah, where people always confuse him with me and they exchange the messages, my messages to him and his messages to me. So please note about that. Our immediate past Division C Director, I hope he is with us, Distinguished Toastmaster Jahangir Khan, my fellow Division Directors, Area Directors, fellow Toastmasters and guests from Bahrain, Kuwait, and from all around the world who are here and honoring us with the precious time and presence. Good afternoon to you all, and a very warm welcome to District 20, Division C, and welcome to Bahrain. As you heard in my introduction, let me add a bit more. It's not I was running away, I was running very fast away from Toastmasters. It took me 45 years to join Toastmasters, and after joining Toastmaster, I realized what I had missed in 45 years. So within the first year, I decided knowledge which I am getting from Toastmaster should not be limited to myself, but it should also go across all the IT professions who needs it. Because I realize we as IT professionals, we do a lot of work, we need to do a lot of presentations and communications, and what we are lacking is the right skills which can boost us, which can take us to the next level. So with a group of friends, we decided to charter a special club for IT professionals, and we named it Bahrain IT Professionals. And I'm glad and happy to see we created from that club various champions, speech champions, valuation champions, moderators who are helping different organizations, societies in performing professional moderation for their events. And we are doing one next week as well. But we all know time flies. And with the feel of a blink of an eye, 2 years passed and I achieved my Distinguished Toastmasters. I sat down after that and reviewed my achievements and improvements. And I got a lot of feedback from my good mentors and friends. And then I put a list of skills, knowledge, which I am missing still. Out of several skills, the list which I had and the top skill which I found missing in me is the parliamentary procedures. Then I look surrounding, I asked my friends and got some feedback and some statistics. And I realized it's not only me who has this deficiency. We all need some vitamins to improve our skills in parliamentary procedures. So I approached few experienced Toastmasters, leaders, and I took their advice. And we all collectively decided that yes, we need to do something and we need to do it long term, not a short term. It should be a long term with continuity. So this brought the idea of chartering a new club where we will lead promoting parliamentary procedures. And I'm glad to inform you all that the club is under chartering. Maybe by next week, we'll get all the documents processed and club will be operational, inshallah. When we finalize our mission and objectives, immediately a few days later, I got a call from our District 20 Program Quality Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Alifia, and she asked me to take few trainings through Division C. And guess what? The first training she mentioned to me was parliamentary procedures. So I told her, please, our PQD, don't tell me the other list. We will go ahead with parliamentary procedures because this is our vision, mission, and objective, and we must do it. And here we are today conducting 3 programs, Toastmaster of the Day, General Evaluation, and the most important, parliamentary procedures. I'm sure all of you will benefit from this training, from all of the 3 trainings, and you can have better experience in your own clubs and your life. So let's all rise up as one, learn and make new leaders in District 20 and all around the world. Thank you. Back to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Khalid. I'm sure you're not going to miss Toastmasters again because you cannot run away opening another new club. So we will expect you to form more new clubs and conduct more sessions like this in the near future. Fellow Toastmasters,
you can see the reaction
yes,
from CGD.
DTM Khalid, yes, yeah. I'm sure that's the reaction from all of us. Fellow Toastmasters, I'm sure you're eagerly waiting for the main event. But before that, let me give you another clue. I'm not sure some of you have followed or not followed who have just joined. For the benefit of those, let me just inform you. We have a crossword. Of course, I'm going to share the crossword again with you through the chat box. And I'm giving you a few clues. So note down the clues. Though you have joined now, note down the clues because I'm going to share the crossword once again. And at the end of the session, I would like to see who is going to fill the crossword first. So here comes the second clue. This was the first clue, be it a profession or Toastmasters. This is definitely needed. And this was 6 across. So here comes the next clue for you. Everyone wants to reach here. And it's also having the second clue. I am also associated with Division C. Let me also tell you, if you have heard our Division C director properly, you already got it. Let me see your listening skills, fellow Toastmasters. So I have already given you a clue once again. Now let's move on to the main session. So this session is going to have actually 2 parts. So the first part of the session will be a workshop and the second one will be a question and answer round. Now I would like to mention here, while the session is on, you can use the chat box to send your questions either in the group or to Toastmaster Amanda. Please note, when the session is on, use the chat box to send your questions either in the main group or send it to Toastmaster Amanda. You can see Toastmaster Amanda as a participant, so you can send the questions to her. Now let's begin the educational session by beginning our first training session on the Toastmaster of the day. Now, to conduct this workshop, we have a Toastmaster who strongly believes in Toastmasters' values, which have helped her grow as an individual. Division F table topic contest winner, a content writer and editor by profession, avid reader. And what's surprising is she's a food lover as well as a health and fitness enthusiast. Welcome Toastmaster Snehal on the screen to conduct this training session.
Thank you, Toastmaster Srilata, for that warm welcome. And good afternoon to all my fellow Toastmasters and guests from all across the world. I'm so happy to see so many eager and curious faces wanting to know more about the Toastmaster of the Day role and the best practices to execute it. Well, I am eager too. You know what? I jumped at the opportunity when I was asked whether I would do this seminar for TMOD role. You might wonder why. Well, it took me back all those years when I was a newbie and I had volunteered for the role and I got all jittery and anxious. Will I be able to match to the standards set by the stalwarts of my club? Do I have it in me to do it? And ever since then, after having done this role over and over again and seen other Toastmasters do it at various meetings, I realized that TMOD is such a crucial role. With good preparation, it can take the meeting to another level, make it memorable. If not, it could become just another meeting that fades away into our memory. Therefore, TMOD could make a meeting or break a meeting with the support of its role players. So let's look at how all of us, when we take up this role, can create magic in a meeting. So what exactly is a Toastmaster of the day? I believe a TA Modi wears many hats. A Toastmaster of the day has to draw skills and inspiration from various facets of life. Sometimes be an event planner, an efficient administrator, an engaging MC, and a gracious host. Let's look at it one by one. A Toastmasters meeting is like an event. There are various facets to it that need to be taken care of. Meticulous details are there. You've got to plan it well, else there could be confusion and chaos. Therefore, be an event planner. Just like an efficient administrator, you've got to coordinate with various members of your club. Most importantly, the VP of Education and the VP of Public Relations. You will have to reach out to the role players, ask them a few questions, tell them this is how you plan to execute the meeting. Be an engaging MC who doesn't go into a monologue and keeps talking while the members are just listening. You know, it is an age of distraction. We get distracted this fast, even if there's a little bit of boredom. So draw your members in, make it a bit interactive, tell some funny stories, and engage everyone. And finally, be a gracious host. Just like the host of that fun party you must have attended sometime, which you remember, not just for the lip smacking food, but for those gracious hosts who welcomed you into their homes, who introduced you warmly to other invitees and made you feel at home. This is your party. Make the members feel at home. Let them be more involved. Now, to undertake this task, there are responsibilities. And the responsibility starts the moment you volunteer for the role or have been asked by your VP of Education to do it. A good place to start would be to read the TI manual, or there are various resources available these days. Sometimes the magazine has some interesting articles related to the TA Modi role. Read all of that. Even if you've been around for a while, we tend to forget certain protocols sometimes. So just brush up your knowledge. And then plan a novel theme. We will come back to the idea, various theme ideas later, but let me give you a quick trick that I use. First of all, try and have a theme that connects well with you, that resonates with you. Because if it connects with you, you will be able to deliver with conviction. You will be able to put across your ideas in a better way. For example, it could be a book you've recently read, an international event that you felt that your members need to know about. It has repercussions on all of us. Or something that inspired you, a hobby. But also, we must keep in mind that make it inclusive for all our members. Keep in mind what kind of interests your members have. Maybe what is the age group. These kind of things will help you understand what will connect with your members. A very important activity is to communicate constantly with the VP of Education and the VP of Public Relations. First, you will need to know who are the role players, and then you'll have to reach out to them. And nowadays, with this digital era, social media, the level of posters and flyers has gone to another level. You would want your VPPR to make a nice poster about your theme. But unless you pass across your idea to him or her clearly, they won't be able to put your vision onto a poster. So talk to them and keep sending across posters to attract audience. And finally, I always emphasize on this fact that have a checklist. A checklist is your best friend for a meeting. Always keep handy a notepad and write down what you need to remember for a meeting. One thing could be the pronunciation of the names of your participants. Maybe there's a guest who's going to attend. You would want to know how to pronounce their names. The speech titles. And an evening or morning prior to your meeting, you would want to check in with your VP Education. Are there any changes? Has by chance there been a dropout? Because accordingly, you will have to change your script. So if you do all of this before the meeting, You will be more calm, you won't be anxious, and you will be able to deliver your best during a meeting. Now, what happens during a meeting? The day arrives. One basic thing that a TMOD always needs to do is to be enthusiastic and ever smiling. Your enthusiasm will rub onto your club members. A TMOD is the person who sets the tone for the meeting. Change somebody's day, make them feel involved, add value to their life. Introduce your participants graciously. One trick that I use, and I know many of the clubs would be doing this as well, try to incorporate your theme while introducing your members. For example, I had led a meeting where the theme was Atomic Habits. It was a book I had recently read and was very excited to tell my members about it. So with the help of the XCOM, we conducted a small survey before the meeting and tried to find out what are the habits our members are trying to build, what are the difficulties they are facing, and how they can be solved. And this information we used while introducing the role players and speakers. Now, as we all know, our Toastmasters meeting has different sessions. We have the education session, the table topics, and the general evaluation. There are transitions that will be needed to take place. Don't let there be abrupt changes. Try to make it smooth. Know the flow of your script. Know what comes after what. Remember those little things like having a 1-minute break after a speaker has spoken for feedback. If not, maybe somebody will interrupt you and say, hey, we didn't do that. Or hey, we didn't vote for the best speaker. We don't want that chaos. If you remember these little things, it will be a smooth sailing meeting. And finally, do I need to speak about time management? This is what Toastmasters is known for, right? We start on time, we end off time. This is our USP. So whose job is it to ensure that a club meeting is going as per the agenda, as per time? The TMOD needs to be mindful of that. If for some reason you're lagging behind, running out of time, reserve your comments. You might have to say a lot. You must have planned a lot of things. But remember, the meeting is more important than you. So ensure that you reserve your comments and end the meeting on time. Let's look at certain themes. What categories do they fall into? I have categorized them into 4: out of the box, informative and timely, inspirational, and entertaining. Does that mean an out of box theme cannot be entertaining? Yes, it can. An inspirational meeting can be informative. I believe if all these things are brought in together, you could create magic with a meeting. Now let's look at some examples that I have seen at my club and other clubs that I've visited. One out of the box idea that I remember is a murder mystery theme that we had at our club. And I know that few other clubs have done it too. The TMOD did such a fantastic job of planning well. She had created a fictional scenario where one of our club members is shown as he's murdered, and a poster was released with that. And there were clues given. Who could it be? This attracted so many other Toastmasters from other clubs, everybody wearing a detective hat and trying to find out through the clues, who is the murderer? It was a very memorable meeting. Many meetings fall under the category of informative and timely because there's so much information around. We are all from different professions. We want to share our information with others, but it can be made interesting and fun too. One example is a theme I had seen, which was be a buddy and not a bully. Now, bullying is become a big issue nowadays. And we, in our club, we have a lot of parents with young children. So it became very apt for our club. She made us into different groups, asked different questions that if you are bullied, what would you do? Or if you find out your child is bullying others, what would you do? We came back inspired and armed with knowledge. Inspirational themes. Toastmasters is about inspiration, right? We all hear other speakers and feel inspired. Exactly like that, a theme can be inspirational. It could be about good habits, it could be about positive reaffirmations. One theme that comes to my mind is about books that we conduct annually at our meeting. We all want to get away from gadgets and want to start reading more. So we have a book theme where we talk about good writers, good books, poetry, and it's become a norm. We conduct a small fundraising event where we bring in our books and sell them at nominal prices so that there's an exchange of books. And finally, an entertaining meeting. Of course, we all love some entertainment. Every meeting can be made entertaining by a tinge of humor in it. One theme that we had at our club was idioms and phrases. Now, you would wonder why it is entertaining. Well, the moment the poster was up, we all got our thinking hats on and recollect all the idioms we knew. And every speaker, every role player peppered their speeches with idioms. It was a lot of fun. So all these categories could be helpful to think up of a theme. Now, what makes a TMOD role successful? I cannot emphasize enough on advanced preparation. How advanced, you would ask? Well, there's no set rule, but some clubs have a wonderful climate where they prepare 1 month in advance. They set their TMOD so that the person has enough time to think up a nice theme, speak to the VP of Public Relations, and release a set of posters. The club members are aware, and a momentum is created. So advanced preparation will help. As I said earlier, maintaining a checklist is your best friend. I always carry a notepad around like this. Well, this is a huge notepad. You could just carry a small one around where you tick away as soon as you've got your things done. Having a cheerful attitude, I reiterate here, your energy will rub onto your club members. Somebody might have had a bad day and they come to the meeting a bit grumpy, but seeing your smiling face, your enthusiasm, it could turn their day around. And finally, just as in life, unexpected things happen. There could be a last minute dropout. Somebody's internet connection might go off. Don't panic. Just calm down, collect your thoughts. If you are calm, you will be able to think of what is the next step forward. And you're the leader of the meeting. Take a firm decision and go ahead. Now let's summarize on what we've learned so far. Having an appropriate theme will set momentum for a meeting. Let there be clarity in what you're going to speak about. Avoid confusion. Let your role players know how exactly you are going to conduct the theme. Sometimes you'll need to be a gentle taskmaster. Like I said, if the meeting is running behind time, you'll have to nudge the members to maintain the agenda, the flow of the agenda. Act decisively. It is your show. Lead with authority. You may be a new member, you may be a senior member, whatever it is. This meeting, the reins are in your hand. You know what is the flow, what is exactly to be done. And finally, at the end of it, when it is all done, take your hand, put it on your back, and pat yourself. You've done a good job. The Toastmaster of the Day role, even if it is challenging, it teaches you so much. If you do it well, not just will you make it memorable and add value to the life of your club members, but it will add value to your own life too. You will have sharpened your skills. You will have communicated with different people and made you a better person, a better speaker, a better leader at the end of the day. Toastmaster of the Day, if he applies the best practices, he could make a meeting, or it could be a meeting that fades away. But let me say one last thing. Don't let the new members feel like it is a daunting task. No, not at all. If you plan well, anybody can do it well, and be proud. With that, I hand it over back to the MC of the day, Toastmaster Srilata.
Thank you, Toastmasters Snehal, for that wonderful training that you have given. I'm sure, though we have been doing Toastmaster of the Day for quite a number of times, I did learn a lot from your session today, especially with the themes. I'm sure after hearing this, definitely people are going to definitely try the murder mystery one, if not the other at least. So
yes.
Coming to the next session, fellow Toastmasters, I'm sure you must have sent all your questions. You would have definitely have lots of questions to ask, and you would have already sent them. So to help you with a question and answer round for all the sessions, we have a Toastmaster, a teacher by profession, and her passion to inspire people and her dedication to Toastmasters can be clearly seen from her club roles, from her roles at the club as VP PR, VP Public Relations, area as an Assistant Program Quality Director, and Division C as Public Relations Manager. All the three roles at the same time, Toastmaster. Amanda, you are really great. Welcome on screen, Toastmaster Amanda, for conducting the question and answer session.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. Toastmaster Snehal, these are a few questions that I have received from our audience today. So let me proceed with question number one. Question number one for you is the Toastmaster of the day a speaker role or a leadership role?
Okay, interesting. Very good question. This is a question a lot of us have, I am sure. I believe that the Toastmaster of the Day role is a combination of a leadership role and a speaking role. Let me tell you why. There are a lot of things that you will need to initiate, coordinate, communicate with different people. So therefore, it is a leadership role. You're initiating a theme, you're leading the meeting. However, as we know through the meeting, the Toastmaster of the Day has to speak a lot. So it is a combination of a leadership role plus the speaking role. I hope that answers my question.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Snehal. Thank you for that answer. Question number two. Should the Toastmaster of the Day introduce the table topic master with the rest of the role players, or should the Toastmaster of the Day do it just before the table topic session starts?
Thank you. The practice that most clubs follow is that the role players, excluding the Toastmaster of the table topics master, are first introduced, and the table topics master is introduced right before the table topics session, so that it doesn't have to be done 2 times in a row. It doesn't repeat. Therefore, leave the table topics master introduction or during just before the session.
Thank you. Question number 3. While introducing the speaker or evaluator, what exactly should be the order?
Yes, that is a good question, because many times we see this confusion. The way it has to be done is the evaluator has to be introduced first and asked to read the speech objectives for the speaker. Once the speech objectives are read, then you bring in the speaker and read the speech title as well. So the flow is maintained and there is no break here and there. I hope that is clear.
Thank you, Toastmaster Snehal, because I have been witnessing this in few clubs. The TMOD first introduces the speaker and then goes to the evaluator, comes back to the speaker. So I think this was a very good answer, and thank you very much for that. So let's move on to the next question. Can a TMOD take any other roles if there is a shortage of role players? Do you want me to repeat it?
No, I'm good, thank you. As far as possible, this should be avoided, because the Toastmaster of the Day has a lot of tasks at hand and has to be attentive to the flow of the meeting, what is going to happen next. However, of course, there will be situations where a particular day we are struggling to have role players. Then as a last resort, there are a couple of roles that the TMOD could take. For example, a speech evaluator, so that he or she has to only hear that speech and give that evaluation. But something like a grammarian could be avoided, because one has to be attentive to everything for that. So something like a joke master or a speech evaluator could be done. But however, this has to be a last option.
Perfect, thank you. Is it the TMOD's responsibility or the Vice President Education's responsibility to look for role players?
Ideally, it is the Vice President of Education's responsibility, because it is he or her who has the club success plan, who knows which members need to complete which projects to have the DCP goals in order. Therefore, it's the VPU education who should be looking for the role players. But of course, right away, the TMOD has to be brought into the loop so that he can take things forward, he or she can take things forward.
So there's one interesting question that we have received. How can I perform the role of TMOD in a relaxed manner? Because always, every time I become the TMOD, I feel the pressure to perform this role. So can you just advise?
Question, whoever it is, thank you for the question. It is not only you, many of us feel that pressure. And the very idea through this presentation that I wanted to pass across is it need not be a stressful thing. How we can avoid the stress is by being meticulously prepared. I think we don't always give enough emphasis on preparation. Even the members who've been around for a while, we tend to get complacent and we think we know it all. We'll just take 2 days and finish it off. But no, if you have your checklists in order, if you've ensured you've communicated your thoughts to all the role players, it'll take you a long way in being calm and composed for the role. That's what I would say. Prepare well. And again, as we've heard our leaders say here, we learn in a supportive environment. This is the idea of Toastmasters. I feel really relaxed with my club members because there's so much support. And so is it with all Toastmasters. So don't make it a stressful situation. Enjoy it, relax, and then you'll do your best.
I hope you got your answer for that question. Next question. What is the best way to open the meeting by a TMOD? What is the best way to open a meeting by a TMOD?
Yes, nice question. There are different ways that different members adopt, but one that works well most often is narrating a story, perhaps a personal story, usually helps connect with the audience. One example that I can give that quickly I remember is at one of our club meetings, the theme was laughter is the best medicine. The TMOD came on stage, this was in the physical meeting, and he burst out into laughter. And that laughter, when the energy flew into the members and everybody was laughing. And then when everybody calmed, he explained why laughter therapy is important in our life. So try and have a quick interactive session at the beginning of the meeting. That would go a long way. That could engage the audience well.
Toastmaster Snehal, I think Joyce has raised her hand and she has a question for you. So can we get Joyce to ask her question?
No.
Joyce, you can ask your question.
I'm sorry, I'm not able to hear. Is anybody speaking?
No, there's...
Okay.
Right, let's move on to the next question. Why can't the TMOD explain the purpose of the speech and then introduce the speaker? Then the evaluator is introduced only by the general evaluator when he or she is supposed to evaluate.
Because this is the practice that the evaluator has the speech objectives. The speaker and evaluator have communicated prior to the meeting, and the evaluator needs to know what are the speech objectives. Therefore, it is the evaluator's job to explain the speech objectives, and then it is handed over to the TMOD. So this is a normal practice that we have.
Does the TMOD decide on the theme of the day and the word of the day?
the word of the day is decided by the grammarian. However, the TMOD needs to inform all the role players of the theme first, so that the word of the day can be in conjunction with the theme. And I'm sorry, can you repeat the first part of your question? Who decides the theme of the day? Is that what you asked?
Yes, who decides the theme of the day and the word of the day?
The Toastmaster of the day decides the theme. However, there can be a conversation between the XCOM members and the TMOD if there is some special event coming up, if it is the club's anniversary, if something special is going to happen, and there could be exchange of ideas. However, most often it's the TMOD of the Toastmaster of the day who decides on the theme.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Snehal, for your brilliant answers.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think we have run out of time. So audience, if your questions were not answered, don't worry about it. We will definitely answer your question and send it via email. So please feel free to send us your email address. We do have some of your email addresses as well. So we will definitely answer all your questions and reply you. Back to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Amanda, for conducting that session so gracefully that you've completed on time and you've got all the questions answered. So whoever hasn't been answered, please just enter your question in the chat box, and Toastmaster Amanda is definitely going to get back to you on that. And thank you, Toastmaster Snehal. You have answered a lot of questions which I too had in my mind. So thank you for that. Now, fellow Toastmasters, to conduct the next training session on the GE role, I would like to invite a Toastmaster, an electrical engineer by profession, founder and chief technology officer for some of the esteemed organizations, who made his mark in Toastmasters by serving in various capacities. And he has also created several applications for Toastmasters, one of which is popular Facebook called Resources for Toastmasters. That's a Facebook group. So now you know if you want looking for any resource on Toastmasters, whom to approach. Welcome distinguished Toastmaster Noor on the screen to conduct this training session. DTM Noor, it's over to you.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. A very good evening to all of you. Hope you're all doing well during this testing times. As you can see on the screen, which is being shared, it is general evaluation discussion. I might not be an expert on general evaluation, but the idea today, what we're going to do is to bring together all the knowledge, cumulative knowledge we are having, because we all have come together here now. There are around 100 participants. I see 104 participants. Now, each of us have personal experience, and that personal experience is like the gold which you reserve in your mind, and that is not put out for everyone. So today I'm going to put out my gold outside, and I also encourage all of you to put forward your gold as well on the table so that we can benefit from the cumulative knowledge what we have together. So to proceed with this general evaluation discussion, the primary things which we'll be covering today is the purpose of an evaluation, the role of the general evaluator, which is the heart of today's discussion. That is, we are going to learn about how to do a general evaluator's role effectively and efficiently. Then in the third section, we will have tips on how to do your role well. And the fourth section is about resources and references. Now, moving on. Now, why do you think you have come to this workshop in the first place? Now, you can do a simple Google search on general evaluator's role, and you'll get tons of information on general evaluator. Now, at the beginning of this workshop, I said why we are coming together and what is the advantage of 105 people coming together and putting the cumulative knowledge in front. So here we are going to have a discussion type of session here right now, because I'm not the one who is going to continuously speak, but rather I would want to get your knowledge out so that we can mutually benefit from each other, right? So I would request the host to please allow anybody to speak or type in the chat window, and let's see how it goes. All right. So the important thing about why this workshop is because we are going to take advantage of the cumulative knowledge. All right. So what do you think is the purpose of an evaluation? Anyone? Why do you think the heart of an evaluation? Why do you do an evaluation in the first place? Anyone?
To help a member increase their understand what the speech is about, or
Yeah.
get better in
Get
performing
better.
whatever the role of the speech.
Yeah. Say, for example, if a child does something, why do parents give an evaluation on that behavior? To improve, right? To make something better than what it is exactly is. So the purpose of an evaluation is to provide an honest reaction. Remember, it's your reaction. It is not, you're not an expert on something. You're going to give your reaction about what you saw, what you heard, and then you're going to present your reaction about it to whoever has done that job. Say, for example, you are giving an evaluation to a speaker. Whatever you've heard, whatever you have seen the speaker do, you'll give a reaction to that, your reaction, your honest reaction, right? In a constructive manner. So many times we see evaluators giving feedback in really critical fashion. They think that being a critical evaluator means being hard on the speaker and forcing them to take a particular stand or a point of view into consideration. Some speakers are open to such ideas, but we cannot assume that all speakers are open to such ideas. So it is better to always provide your evaluation in a constructive manner and to that person's efforts. Now, please see this snapshot of this man. Now, what is the first word which comes to your mind? Different facial expressions, different reactions. That is correct. That's fantastic. So you have to remember, evaluation is all about your honest reaction. So this image is only here to make you put a memory hook in your mind to know that evaluation is all about your honest reaction. All right. It's a memory hook. You will never forget this guy. You will see it, but you might forget about this presentation after some time, but you will remember this image for sure, 100%. Right. So what are the keywords of an evaluation? What are the first keywords which come to your mind? It is honest. You should be honest. If you are trying to just impress somebody with your evaluation because you want to project yourself as a good evaluator, then that might not come out as an honest evaluation. So honest evaluation is what you felt and what you saw, and you just put it out. Right? So your reaction, this is another keyword. It is constructive feedback, right? And it should be in a positive tone. If it sounds in a negative tone, then suddenly, do you like anyone who speaks negative to you? No one likes people speaking negative to us, right? So people are more willing to take your advice or your suggestions or your feedback if you're putting it in a positive tone, right? And it should be encouraging. If it's not encouraging, if it's discouraging, so nobody wants that kind of evaluation. So encouraging tone. And you are not a judge. Remember, how much ever experienced you are, you cannot judge somebody and somebody's performance. Rather, you provide an honest reaction. Now, what does any role involve? Any role. Say, for example, you are taking up a role of a father, you're taking up a role of a mother, you're taking up a role of an employee in your organization, you're probably a marketing manager, or you're probably somebody. All right. So what does any role involve? Anyone? Those of you who have not seen my presentation earlier, please. Yeah, anyone? Pick. I'll just see the chat, see if anyone is typing anything. Okay, I'll move forward, and I will just, because of the constraint of the time. Number one is personal responsibility. You have to be committed to that role. Then only you can do that role well. Number two is the knowledge about that role. If you lack knowledge about a particular role, you cannot do that role properly. Number three is willingness to complete your tasks. Whatever is assigned to you, you need to be willing to complete them, not leave them in between or not do them, halfway. And accountability. Somebody, you should be accountable to somebody. Then only there is some kind of feedback wherein how did you do your role, or did you do it well or did you not do it well? So you should be accountable to somebody. So these are the four pillars of a role, aspects of a role, how you would do. Now, in a nutshell, what do you think is a GE's role? Anyone? Because I am thinking, please don't be miser. Please take out your gold from your minds, put it on the table so that we can benefit, all can benefit. So please put your information. What do you know about a GE role? Just put it on the table. Let's see who says what. Please open your mics, speak, talk, chat. In a nutshell, what do you think is a GE's role?
GE role, this is Toastmaster Muhammad Bikharuddin.
Yeah.
GE role
Yes,
is for look to from start to end and critical thinker and look for constructive feedback. And mainly it is for whatever you observe and give for improvement. This is what I know as in a nutshell. Thank you. And
thank you. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. Now, whoever is going to speak next is going to speak something which Muhammad did not say. All right. So you're not going to repeat anything which has been said earlier. You're going to say something different from whoever has said earlier. Okay. So what else do you think is an Yes, go ahead.
This is Toastmaster Maram Al-Aradi. Thank you so much, DTM Noor.
Yes,
I would say the general evaluator's role is somewhat like a movie producer. Make sure that the meeting is performed better the next time it is happening. So I would say a movie producer, or let's say a producer or an editor, let's say.
That's awesome. So he is like somebody who oversees everything, and so that he or she makes something better, right? That's a good point. So going ahead, yes, Khalid, Amin raised your hand. Khalid, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, Khalid.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I haven't shaved in 2 weeks, so I'm not gonna put my camera on. I don't want to scare people, but one thing I always emphasize is general evaluator role is also a leadership role. And let me give you an example. Sometimes the meeting is running late, and when the general evaluator asks the accountant or the grammarian goes on and on and on, and they talk like 5 to 7 minutes as if it's a speech. So general evaluator has to coordinate with the team so that they don't go over time, just to emphasize what the previous speaker said about the TMOD.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Khalid. Thank you so much. And he is the kind of like the same idea. The common thread is this person is like a movie producer, a leader who controls things. So controlling is one aspect of G's role, and a general evaluator he evaluates everything that takes place during the club meeting and also before the club meeting, and is responsible for the evaluation team. Do you know who are there on the evaluation team? I will just see the chat. Let me see. Who are there on the evaluation team? Okay. The people who are there on the evaluation team are the speech evaluators, the timer, and the grammarian, and also the accountant. Now, this forms the evaluation team. The evaluation team is head by the general evaluator. All right. So the G makes sure that all the role players know their tasks and responsibilities. He makes sure. So if a speech evaluator is not performing up to the mark, it is the responsibility of the GE to make sure that they know their tasks well beforehand and the responsibilities as well. So the GE is responsible for their performance in one way. All right. Now, this is the role, the process in which the general evaluator actually goes and does his role, his or her role, right? A week before the meeting, what does a general evaluator do? A week before, all right? Say a meeting is a week ahead. What does the general evaluator do? First, he or she familiarizes herself or himself with the role of the general evaluator. So to familiarize means to gather information about what is a general evaluator, what does he or she does, and all the information gathering is done in that first week. He connects with the VP of he or she connects with the VP of Education to get the names of all the members who are going to participate in the evaluation team. All right. Who are the evaluation team? The speech evaluators, timer, grammarian, and the accountant. So the GE, he or she, he contacts the VP Education, gets all the names of the members, and puts down a list of them. And he or she contacts them. See, contacts the evaluation team and make sure that everyone knows their role and responsibilities. So this is a very key point. The general evaluator makes sure that they know their roles and responsibilities. So for each of these speech evaluators, we have timer and the grammarian and the accountant. They have scripts which are posted on Toastmasters International website. So the GE, before familiarizing yourself with the role of the general evaluator, he or she collects all this information and passes it on to the speakers, speech evaluators, timers, and all the people on the evaluation team. So everyone knows that there is a particular script to do, and are they sure that they know how to do it, and all that thing is done a week before. And print the general evaluation form. There is a general evaluation form which I will be sharing in the resources section. So he or she prints out the general evaluation form so that he or she knows the structure of what they're going to do. Now, on the day of the meeting, just before the meeting, on the day, arrive 15 minutes before the meeting starts. So always be 15 minutes before the meeting starts so that you know what's happening. All right. Make sure the evaluation team is there. Make sure that your speech evaluators are there, timer is there, backup timer is there, backup speech evaluators are there. Have a backup for the backup also. So that's the way we do it. In case the evaluation team is not there, check with the Toastmaster of the day and also with the VP of Education for the last minute substitutions. And you suggest the substitutions. If you are the GE, you suggest the substitutions. See, I have a backup timer. Timer is not there. Will you be okay with this timer? Toastmaster of the day, VP Education, is it okay? So let's go ahead with that. So if they say okay, then put it on the agenda and get it ratified. Identify and confirm that meeting assignments with the timer, grammarian, accountant, and the speech evaluators. So you confirm everything beforehand. So the timer is there, the grammarian is there, and the speech evaluators are there. Now, during the meeting, what to do as a GE? Anyone? Do we have time? Let me see. Is a timer? Timer, how are we doing? How much time do I have left? Because I cannot see you.
Actually, you're overrunning. You're 17 minutes now.
Oh, I am 17 minutes. Okay, let's go
Yeah.
ahead and let's try to finish it up quickly. Okay. During the meeting, explain the purpose and benefits of the evaluation to the members. Introduce the audience to the role of the general evaluator. Take notes and report on all the club proceedings. All right. It's very important to take notes of each of that. What are you going to report about? Timeliness, preparation of speeches and the roles, organization. Organization means the general organization of how the meeting happened, the performance of duties, how each role player has performed the duties, member participation, how did members really participate or did they not participate, and provide a 2 to 3 minute report to the audience. Remember, you're going to be succinct, you're going to be brief about your report, not like me taking 17 minutes over time. After the meeting, what do? Thank the evaluation team for their time and give them feedback. The evaluation team. Reach out to the Toastmaster and discuss any feedback that you might have for him or her. All right. So it's important that you also give feedback which you cannot give openly. You can talk to them personally. Give your evaluation notes to the VP of Education and to also the Toastmaster of the day and provide feedback on what went well and what can be improved. Personal feedback. Remember, you have to give your notes to the VP of Education, not just verbal, but you have to give written notes. Now, there are some of the do's and don'ts of a general evaluator. Explain the benefits of evaluation in a positive way. Now, what you should not do is discourage feedback. All right. So if anyone wants to give feedback, don't discourage that feedback. Provide feedback from your point of view. All right. It's your honest reaction. I think the meeting was disorganized. Instead of like advice, don't give advice that meeting should have been organized in a different way. Instead of meeting should not have been organized in a different way, you can say, I think the meeting was disorganized. It's your personal opinion or reaction to it. Provide feedback in a positive way with suggestions, not just a feedback, not just something, but with suggestions. I think the Toastmaster was not near the stage all the time. Maybe next time we should reserve a seat closer for him. All right. So there is a suggestion as well. There is a dissatisfaction which is being expressed and also a suggestion which is being suggested. So don't provide negative feedback like the Toastmaster did not do a good job. A lot of times the stage was left unattended. So that is a negative tone, a negative feedback. So give a positive feedback. Take extensive notes and clear notes as your feedback will be used to improve future meetings. Remember, you're contributing to the efficiency and effectiveness of the club. So please be extensive, be clear about your feedback so that the VP Education or the Toastmaster of the day or the president can take your notes and actually improve their meetings further. All right. Don't provide just verbal feedback because people tend to forget everything. All right. So this is a link, all right, for, please note down the link. It is TM Toastmaster, GE General Evaluator, R role. So TMGER is capital, OLE is small. So, okay. So this is the link for downloading the resources. And I hope that we don't have time for the questions, but I will definitely take your questions. My email ID will be shared by Toastmaster Amanda, and you can write your questions to me, and I will definitely share my responses to you. Thank you all. I'm sorry for taking too much of your time. Apologies. Take care. Have a good day. Over to you, MC.
Thank you very much, DTM Noor, for keeping it very interactive. Of course, due to the time constraints, we have to restrict the number of questions to a couple of them actually. But I would now request Toastmaster Amanda, can you please conduct the question answer session? Just for a couple of two, maybe you can take. And Toastmaster DTM Noor has already mentioned. Has already mentioned to provide his ID, so you can carry on.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. DTM Noor, I'll just ask you 2 questions.
Yeah, please.
Are there any necessary conditions to undertake the general evaluator's role?
Honestly speaking, to do any role, for example, I'll ask you a question. To do any role, you should have at least minimum idea about what the role is all about. All right. So if you are a pretty new Toastmaster, attending Toastmasters meeting, and you're pretty new, and you have no idea about what the roles other role players are and what the duties and responsibilities are, then maybe you might not be ready for a general evaluator. But if you are a Toastmaster who have seen a couple of meetings, you know what a timer does, what a speech evaluator does, or what any role player in the meeting does, yeah, you can take up a role. So there are no prerequisites as such, but it is always better if you know, because since you're providing your general evaluation, so you should be aware of different roles before you can comment on them. Yeah, I hope I answered that question.
Thank you, DTM Noor. Your next question, will the general evaluator give his evaluation on a speaker if any point was missed by the individual evaluator?
Yeah, sure, definitely. Why not? So if the evaluator, the speech evaluator, has missed something which the speaker can benefit from, the G can comment on it. All right. But the G need not have to replace the speech evaluator by giving another evaluation on the speaker, but rather if he missed a point, the speech evaluator missed a point, then the G can definitely comment on it. 100%. Why not?
Thank you, DTM Noor. Like DTM Noor just mentioned, we will definitely answer all your other questions. So let me hand the screen back to our Master of Ceremonies. Back to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amanda, for that. And DTM Noor, thank you for that specific tips. And I really request you to please share the link, the source link in the chat box. So just like me, all the others can also benefit from that. And also we would be definitely having so many questions, just like the last one you answered. That was a very specific question that even I had in my mind. So thank you for that once again. And thank you, Toastmaster Amanda. Fellow Toastmasters, I'm sure many of you, including our Division C Director, DTM Khalid was also mentioning, you're all looking for this particular training session. So to conduct this session, now I would like to welcome a Toastmaster, Director of Professional Development Unit at British University of Bahrain, educator and entrepreneur doing research work on robotics and artificial intelligence. Led the largest district in the world in 2016, consisting of 7 countries in the Middle East, over 360 plus clubs. Immediate past Region 11 advisor for Middle East, Africa, and Pakistan. Welcome distinguished Toastmaster Ali Shahbaz to conduct this training session.
Thank you, our Toastmaster of the day. Can you please confirm if I'm audible?
Yes, DTM.
Okay, I just switched on my video, but it seems kind of giving up on me. For some reason.
If you could be little louder, it would be more audible.
Is that okay now?
Yes.
Yes. Would that be confirmed?
Yes, it is. DTM Ali Shahbaz, someone is messaging in the chat box. There is echo. Fellow Toastmasters, are you hearing an echo from DTM Ali when he's speaking? Is everyone facing the same issue?
Okay. Can you confirm if I'm audible?
Yes, 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 DTM Ali, it is fine.
Okay.
If you could be little louder, it would be better, but it is fine. There's no echo.
Perfect. Okay, I'll just take 10 seconds. It seems something has gone wrong suddenly with my graphics card, and or it's the bandwidth at this time of the day. But as far as you can hear me very clear, that's what matters. I'm going to share my presentation, and here we go. Okay, one last try. My virtual background work. Okay, it's not. However, well, I won't lose the pleasure of seeing all of you, but you might lose the pleasure of seeing me. So, just kidding. Thank you very much, first of all, our district and division officials for organizing this workshop with three amazing presentations. My part is kind of the boring one. It turns you members more into lawmakers, people who should know club constitution and bylaws, and I'm going to try to make it as much as interesting as possible from my side, because you see, parliamentary procedures by nature is kind of a serious thing. I would only request our MC Srilata, in case anytime you lose my voice, just give me an indication. I have a backup device. I can start talking from there. So no issues. Now, parliamentary procedures is a very important module by itself. We as Toastmasters should know about. Few years back, when I go back almost 17 years, I saw very serious parliamentary procedures sessions being followed by few clubs. But then I also saw the curve going down with lots of clubs being formed, especially here in the Middle East. Some clubs, a few of them were very serious about parliamentary procedures. I used to be the backseat person listening to the workshops of parliamentary procedures those days. Somehow, from the crowd, you see, there are always some people, they really get attached to some topics. We hear world champion of public speaking, or many champions contesting for the world champion of public speaking. At times, we say, this person has a great message, and we get attached to that message. Same thing, something similar happened to me. I got attached to this subject, to governing documents, club constitution and bylaws, and that just made me read more about it. So this is how the magic happened. I saw the curve going down, then I saw the curve coming up, and what I see today is many people are getting interested to know parliamentary procedures. You know the reason why. One of the reasons which I came across why people are getting more towards learning towards parliamentary procedures, because of club conflicts at area, division, district, which is very common. We are bound to make there will be miscommunication, there will be problems, and here is where parliamentary procedures comes into the picture to save us from all that conception, miscommunication, making sure that people have less conflicts while doing their business sessions. So the story begins like this for us Toastmasters to know that we follow Robert Rules of Order. And why Robert Rules of Order? In parliamentary procedures, there are many different orders. There are few procedures we can pick and follow. Few corporates pick some other type of procedures. It's like debate. A debate club can come up with their own book to follow. Some will follow a debate method famous in this country or that version, whichever has a better history, more interesting to that club culture. Same thing happens in Toastmasters International. We have adopted Robert Rules of Order. Now, I have read one or two other documents as well, which were not Robert Rules of Order. What I like about parliamentary procedures when we talk about Robert Rules of Order, it's much easier to understand, or maybe it's my mindset because Toastmasters International recommended us to follow parliamentary procedures, which is of Robert Rules of Order. Now, if there is a corporate club and if they do not want to follow parliamentary procedures from Robert Rules of Order, they have their own setup, that's also fine. So it's not a hard and fast rule that a corporate club also is obliged to follow when they are not actually in line with the Robert Rules of Order. Something else serves them better. But moment that club is going to a district council, they are bound to follow Robert Rules of Order. Club culture is one thing, district council is another, area council is another, Toastmasters International Convention, when they have their annual business session, they follow Robert Rules of Order. So when I say Robert Rules of Order, basically, why is it Robert Rules of Order? Because the founder of this kind of our procedures, Robert Rules of Order, was by Henry Robert, a person, a legend who served in military, rank of a major, and he was also involved in local meetings at the church, community meetings, and when he realized that there are a lot of meetings which fall into debate, miscommunication, and they are taking very long. Here is where he took this task to write procedures, which can make those meetings efficient, shorter, good discussion on democratic principles. So here is why we go to the slide, the next slide. Now, of course, there's some good material here. I'm just going to touch upon the keywords so we don't make the session long. I'm just trying to look for the timer as well. Okay, great. I just so miss switching on my camera, and that's, oh no, still it's not working. Anyway, we'll see that later. So parliamentary procedure, parliamentary rules take into account the often conflicting interests that develop during meetings, and they provide procedures that ensure decisions are made fairly. So it's quite straight. Why do we need parliamentary procedures? It's based on democratic principles, and people, they say majority wins. What happens to the minority? Here it is. Minority, they have the right to be heard. So one thing we need to understand, how fair is parliamentary procedures? If there are 300 people in favor of an opinion and 50 people not in favor, so it's not going to be like all those 300 are going to speak and 50 are going to speak. Still, it's going to be one from 300, one from 50, another one from 300, another one from 50. So it doesn't goes by the majority in terms of this many people are in favor, so they get more chance to speak. It doesn't work that way. So that's why it's based on very clean democratic procedure that everybody gets a fair chance to speak. A few basic things which you should know about parliamentary procedures. What is a quorum? Maybe you could type in the chat. A quick one. I might not read all, but at least audiences will surely benefit from this information. Okay. Quorum 50% plus one, majority. Okay, whenever we say majority, it's kind of 51%. Okay, 50% plus one. So we need to have minimum number of members to begin to approve or disapprove, to accept, to reject. And that's a quorum. To set a proper business session, we do need a quorum. Now, there are times when we don't have a quorum. That does not mean we cancel the whole thing. If meeting was announced, notice was sent in timely fashion as per the constitution, the bylaws, we can still go ahead, but the difference is we'll have to send it back for ratification to our membership to vote yes or no again. But they will lose the chance of discussion because the meeting notice was sent on time. It was agreed, but people didn't show up. Or maybe we lost quorum just by 2 or 3 members. But those people who have attended can still conduct business, but it may not be called officially completely approved. It still needs to be ratified by the House. Now, constitution is something what is foundation of organization. Like for example, when we say Toastmasters International, the headquarters is here. This is the purpose. This is the non-profit code is going to follow according to the state. It was in California, now in Colorado. So this is constitution which has to be there when the organization is founded. These are basic skeleton of any organization, a proper organization which believes that we should have a constitution before anything, so that tomorrow there is no conflict. People can just read our constitution and know about us. There are some rules which are bylaws, which is more of a little bit specific stuff. For example, in our board, we are going to have 12 members. And the 13th member will be a diplomat or will have the status of an ex officio, probably a previous president. So this is decided in the bylaws. Every club will have 2 votes in the annual business session. It's not going to be 5 votes, it's going to be 2. So these are something related to bylaws, which is more of an internal affairs thing which can be changed with at least 2/3 of members voting for it. Mostly it's recommended 2/3 of members. So you have to know that even if you have a quorum where it is 50% plus 1, it doesn't mean that you will pass all the resolutions with 50% plus 1. It can be 2/3 for some opinions to be accepted. We need 2/3 of the members to vote, and we'll find out some of them very soon in this session today. What are standing rules? Now, standing rules are something which is even one step down from constitution bylaws, and then we have the standing rules. For example, the club is going to meet every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. Yeah, any clubs meeting at Tuesday 7 to 9 p.m. Use your time to cheer in the chat box and be proud of it. So if you wish. Okay, so things are decided. The club is going to meet at this venue, or our club is going to be a hybrid club, online plus physical meetings. It's going to be a mix. So members have to agree on these things. Now, here is what we are talking about, business motion, and this is what one of the things which parliamentary procedures is all about. It's a formal proposal that an action can be taken. We cannot just get up and say, in my opinion, we all should go for dinner next Friday as club members. We didn't meet for a long time because of COVID. Now COVID is done and we found the vaccination. We all can go for dinner next Friday, go for lunch. But we don't put it to the House that way. And here is where procedures come in. There is even a procedure to put your opinion to the House. And that's the core thing which we should understand as Toastmasters. Because in every Toastmaster meeting, we have business sessions. Presiding officer is, of course, the president in a club, a district director in a district, area director, division director, or it can be anybody who may be standing in as the president. It can be somebody appointed to preside that meeting. Maybe the president wants to take part in a debate, and the president says, I want to be neutral. I need to speak on the motion. So I give my chair for today to the VP Ed. You may go ahead. And I go down and debate on that motion. So the presiding officer is basically somebody who is simply presiding the whole business session. So not necessarily it has to be the president. Yes, the power is given to the president, but in case the president is not available, it could be somebody else. Now, putting your opinion, we have a few steps to follow. Okay? Let's get ready for that. 6 steps. Member makes a motion. So the member has to say, I move that. Or actually, before this point, there is one hidden thing. The member must be recognized. The member cannot just get up and say, Mr. President, I move that we go for lunch. So the member has to say, Mr. President, Madam President, or presiding officer, and the presiding officer must recognize the member. Okay? Once the member is recognized, yes, Toastmaster John, please go ahead. Here is where Toastmaster John can say, member makes a motion, I move that, we go for lunch next Friday. There should be somebody to second the motion. Most of the times, the business motions should be seconded. If the motion is not seconded, the problem will be it cannot be discussed in the House. Especially most of the main motions, or not most, the main motion must be seconded. Then we go to presiding officer places motion before group. And here it is. The presiding officer then repeats the motion. Okay, there is a motion by Toastmaster John, and the motion states that we go for lunch next Friday. Now, the moment the president repeats or the presiding officer repeats this motion, it becomes the property of the House. And once it becomes the property of the House is going to discuss. So the presiding officer is going to call one in favor. Normally, the person who set this motion will be the first one to speak in favor. Sometimes the mistake which we see that we see a mistake which happens. I move that we go for lunch next Friday because it was COVID, we couldn't meet. I miss everybody here. We have to go for lunch. That's not the way. The motion should be in shortest words or shortest sentence possible. Decrease the words as much as possible. Okay. So the first person preferably is the person who stated the motion. Now, at times, this person may not be a good speaker, may not be a good in convincing. So what happens? This person can ask somebody else to go and speak first. As far as that person is speaking in favor, it's okay. Then one against, one in favor, against. This process can go on till the presiding officer says stop, the time is limited. In fairness, 2 and 2 is fine, or 3 and 3 maximum. Okay, we cannot go whole night and be doing this favor against, favor against. Then it's not parliamentary procedures. We are actually turning it back to the local fish market. Okay, so the motion is open to debate. After debate is over, the presiding officer says, we have done enough debate and let's put the motion to vote. Now, in case the presiding officer feels there is good time, let 4 people debate, let's go for 5 rounds. But if a member feels it's getting too long, they have the power to get up. Madam President, I move that we close the debate with immediate effect. So even that's quite possible. But in parliamentary procedures, the wording will be a little different, as we will see a little later. Okay, I'm just giving an idea that a debate can be closed if the president is not closing. Once the debate is closed, we go for vote. Voting is again different style of voting, show of hands. Now we are in digital world. We can simply come up with different ideas, Google proxy, Zoom poll, okay, digital hand raised. So all that is possible. Madam MC, I'm just going to, Toastmaster Vandana, let me try switching on my screen and you see still flickering, right?
Yes, it's still flickering, DTM Ali.
Okay, okay. I'll just keep it off. Don't want to run into trouble. Okay. Now, there are different kind of categories of motion. One is subsidiary motion, one is privilege motion, one category is incidental motions, and there are few more. So I don't want to create a lot of mess here, and you might have a sleepless night tonight. I don't want to do that. We are going to touch on what Toastmasters wants us to speak about. Let's start with subsidiary motion. Now, after the main motion, we have the main motion. You'll be surprised to know it's the lowest ranked motion. There are different rankings of motion. Main motion is the lowest. The next, something higher than main motion is the subsidiary motion. And after subsidiary motion, there is even with what is higher is privileged motion, the set of privileged motion. So if there is a main motion on the floor, sometimes people think that we cannot bring in any new motion. Well, we can. We can bring subsidiary motion. And if a subsidiary motion is being discussed, we can bring privilege motion. And here is where people who know parliamentary procedures can smart out many in the business sessions because they know how to go about and what to do. Let's start with few of subsidiary motions. One among them is postpone indefinitely. Now, this is a soft killing way. We are killing the motion in a very soft way. We are not saying when will be this motion can be discussed again, but we just say that let's postpone indefinitely. Let's not debate on this motion. A member can get up and say, I move that we postpone the motion to go for lunch indefinitely. And if people vote for this motion, then we don't know when this motion is going to come back to discuss for lunch. Okay? Amen. That's a very famous motion. I've seen a few clubs practice. I've seen it in district councils over the years. Now, amend is something I move that we go for dinner instead of lunch. Okay, let me do it correctly. I move to amend the motion to go for lunch to strike lunch and go for dinner, for example. So what I have done here, I have amended the motion and I have said, we don't go for lunch, we go for dinner. Maybe I discussed with my friends and we all felt, who's going to get up on Friday morning for lunch? Let's go for dinner better. So I've amended the motion. Can anybody tell me in the chat that, can I amend the motion once again if it is already amended? Just yes or no? Anybody, please? Oh, yes. So I see some yes coming. I don't see a no, so that's absolutely correct. I can still amend the motion which is already amended. For example, I can say I move to amend the amended motion that we go for dinner instead of lunch at 7 p.m. Okay, so what I've done, I've added some words to it. Before there was a words which was striked. Instead of lunch, it was dinner. Then it became at 7 p.m. So what do you think the audience or the members of the club or the council will vote for now? Will they vote for 7 p.m.? Will they vote for dinner? Or will they vote for lunch? Once again, I'll repeat that question. So now when the motion is amended and amended, will they vote for 7 p.m.? Will they vote for dinner or will they vote for lunch? Okay, that's a good answer by Ola, which is the last amended motion. So the audience here have to first agree that we go at 7 p.m. Do we all agree with that? Maybe the audience will not agree for 7 p.m. They will defeat that motion. Does that mean the dinner thing is defeated? Yes or no, audience in the chat? Even one answer is fine. No, the dinner is not defeated. The dinner comes back to the floor. And then we have to make sure that now we vote. Do we go for dinner or not? If we voted for dinner, fine. Everything is fine. The lunch has been struck, but we have to take a step back that we all are going out. Okay? Maybe some people in the audience would not even want that main motion. I don't like meeting people. You know, COVID has made me so strong that I just don't want to see anybody. I'm happy with my Netflix. You know, so the main motion still stands. And if that is lost, everything is lost. Okay? Now, if there is a question in your mind, I will answer it now. Can we go for third amendment? Okay. Somebody says no. Zahra says no. There is a question by Dinesh. Motion can be amended till not approved. Motion can be amended. Okay. Now here is the answer to what Dinesh is asking. Maximum only twice. You can amend and then you can amend the amendment. You cannot go for third round. Okay. Then it becomes a joke. Right? Please don't mind my sarcasm at times. You see, I used to be a humorous speech contestant at the district level back in early 2000s. I tried for many years, and when I lost very badly, very pathetically, I boarded the plane and I decided I'm taking leadership. So that's why I'm here today. Okay. Now, there is other motion referred to the committee. Here is, at times we bring up motions with so much emotion, so much passion. Something which is not possible to decide today. We need some planning to be done. Okay, we cannot just decide big things in one go. What if the majority says yes, 51% says yes, and later we decide what to do now? So at that time, somebody with all wisdom can say, I move that we refer this motion to a committee. So what happens? This one is, this motion takes precedence. We have to vote for this now. And if this is voted upon, that we refer this to committee, it's done. It goes to a committee to study. And that's better when we come out with all emotions and we just state it. Sometimes we don't know, so we need to control our emotions. I'm getting a message, that nice one about the humor from Khalid Amin. Thank you very much. Postpone to a certain time. Consider something. Okay, now here is a little difference than postpone indefinitely. Now what I'm saying is, I get up and say, we are already time up. Or the members, we do have a quorum, but we don't have a full house. It's not fair that 49% of members are not available. And we will discuss this quorum. So there might be some sentiments, this motion. So there might be some sentiments attached if they come back and they say, oh, just because you had a quorum, you discussed it. So why to do that? Let's postpone it to a certain time. It can be next meeting. Okay. I'll just start going fast because now you're getting hang of parliamentary procedures. So now I can go a little faster. Limit or extend limits of debate. I can get up and say, Madam President, Mr. President, I move that we limit this debate only for the next 5 minutes. And if this is seconded, adopted, we cannot go for more than 5 minutes. What do you think will have to happen after 5 minutes? Can anybody tell me in the chat? Thank you, Shirilata, for confirming. I have 15 minutes. Okay. If after 5 minutes, we stop debating, and then what do we do? Yeah, you are there. Please vote for it. Perfect. Previous question. Thank you. Thanks, Dinesh. So previous question. Now suppose if I feel, oh my God, we are not stopping, or one person already spoke very well in favor and one against, there is nothing left to talk about. And the debate is going on and on. The president maybe cannot control the debate. So here is where somebody can just get up and say, can we stop the debate and move to the question? Let's vote for it. So I move that we stop debate and we go to the question. So some motions, the name are, for example, previous question. I move that we go to previous question. You don't have to memorize it. You can simply say, I move that we stop the debate and go for a vote. A strong parliamentarian, if the president has appointed one or the district director, would tell the president or the district director, what they mean is, let's go to previous question. Now, we don't expect our members to know everything, memorize it, refer to a committee. Sometimes they wouldn't know to say these words, refer to a committee. They might just say, let's put a committee to study this. Okay, so it's not necessary that every president in the world, every district director in the world needs to get some kind of graduation in parliamentary procedures. That's why they appoint parliamentarians, because they study these matters. Okay, and it's mentioned in Toastmasters documents, in district leadership handbook. Parliamentarian has a role as well. Lay on the table. For example, we felt that there is a diplomat who has walked in our meeting and somebody has noticed, or a celebrity, or a group of non-Toastmasters, they have entered our meeting and they would be lost with all these motions. What's going on? What are they debating about? So in that kind of situation, we can say, Mr. President, I move that we lay the motion on table. Lay it on the table for a while, put it aside. If those people leave, we can bring it back from table. We can still discuss. If time is over, we can bring it immediately in the next meeting. In what section do we bring it? Can anybody tell me? If any motion is pending, what is the section we bring it back? Where we stop, but which section? Business session. What part of business session? What's the first item in the business session, audience? Okay, the answer is there. Old and new. What's the first part in the business session? What's the first item? Anybody? It starts with C.
Previous minutes of meeting approval.
No. We have to call the meeting to order first. Perfect, Anusha. Okay, good. So we have to call the meeting to order. Now, of course, if we are calling the meeting to order, immediately after that, we need to check with the secretary or district admin manager. Do we have a quorum today? and then proceed. What's the next item which is recommended? Let's do it quickly because time is short. After call to order, what's the next session? Perfect. Yes, we can adopt. We have to adopt the agenda. Now, at times we waste a lot of time to adopt the agenda. We don't have to ask emotion to. I have seen sometimes we waste time to adopt the agenda. Can somebody move to adopt the agenda? Can somebody second? Can we vote for it? It's not required. What we can do is the agenda in place? Shall we go ahead if no objection? 3, 2, 1, done. Okay. After adopting the agenda, what's next? Minutes of the meeting. Yes. Somebody wrote mom. Very good. Okay. I'm getting message in Arabic too. Should the presiding officer call the meeting to order if the quorum is not present? Now, as I was saying, even if the meeting is called to order, the president says, I call the meeting to order. We can go ahead with the business session. Now, the only thing what we cannot do is transact business. And even if we did discuss business, we cannot call it officially approved by the House. We'll have to send it for ratification. That's a good question by DTM Noor. I believe he's the one. So now what happens here, especially in district councils, notice was sent. Everybody knew district council is happening on this particular day. According to the constitution, everything was done. But maybe we were 50%, not 51. The district director will still call it to order. Okay, and continue. And ask, of course, do we have a quorum for today? If no quorum, we still hear the reports. We still announce things what the House has to know. So that will continue. That won't stop. Okay, I got a message. There are only 7 minutes. So let's do this quicker. Call for the orders of the day. Okay, now suppose if the people feel or if somebody felt that the president or the House is not following the agenda or we are going out of track, here is where somebody can say, Madam President, Mr. President, I move that we go back to the agenda. If the person knows parliamentary procedures, Madam President, I call for orders of the day. Now, sometimes we need to understand our president might be a new president. They might not know what does this mean. Call for the orders of the day. Okay, what am I supposed to do? And the R counter would be very happy to notice or write hours of the president. So let's make our life easier. Okay, it's okay if somebody doesn't know this. They can just get up and say, I move that we get back to the agenda. We are losing track here. Raise a question of privilege. May I request the Division C Director, since there are 7 minutes remaining, give me at least 10 because time is bad if you allow. So I don't rush so much. We have ample time for the practicals. Is that okay? Thank you, DCD, for your thumbs up. Oh, still flickering. Okay, I'll just close the camera again. There is a question of privilege is something like this where somebody sitting at the back seat of the audience and here they cannot hear the sound, what's going on all the way in the front. You see, especially when we used to be the largest district in the world, whole of Middle East, and then after that 7 countries. So district councils used to be huge at times. People sitting at the back used to complain, wait, I cannot hear, I cannot talk. So here is where somebody can say, District Director, I raise a question of privilege. We sitting at the back cannot hear anything what's going on. Or we are being ignored. When we raise our hand, nobody sees. So here is what the district director can send a surgeon at arms at the back to make sure nobody's missed out with the mic. Okay, these are some examples which I'm giving. Recess. Now, when we feel debate is done, we are fed up, we are tired, still we are not giving up. Both the parties are not giving up. Nobody wants to give up. So here is where somebody can just say, District Director, Mr. President, I call for recess. Now remember, in privilege motions, some of them do not have to be seconded. If a member gets up and says some privilege motions, which does not have to be seconded, that's it. It has to be discussed by the House. Is that clear? Okay, can someone show a thumbs up? So remember, not all motions have to be seconded. And you would be surprised to know not all motions have to be debated. Some can go straight for voting. Okay? Now, this has happened many times. For example, there was this one DTEC where people were deciding which country will take the next district conference. It went on and on. Nobody was reaching to any conclusion. I still remember that DTEC. So I got up and I said, I move that we go for recess immediately. And then we went for recess the district director said, okay, we'll go for 10 minutes recess. We solved our differences in 10 minutes. We came back and we decided which country we would go for. If anybody remembers that DTEC, can put on the chat which country then took this DTEC. Okay, just for the sake of fun. Adjourn. Maybe this is a very strong motion, by the way. People good in parliamentary procedures can just say, I adjourn the meeting. No, it's not Qatar, Fatma Abdu, but good try. So, yes, it was Kuwait Khalid Jalal, our DCD. So here is what happened. If this motion goes to debate, the council was in Dubai. Yes. Thank you, CTM Fatma Abdu. So here is where, if I want to adjourn the meeting, and if this motion is accepted, meeting has to be adjourned with immediate effect, no more discussion. But there is a stronger motion which says fix a time to adjourn. You see how smartly the procedures are planned. Remember what I told you all in the beginning. The first one has low ranking, and as we go down, these are higher ranking motions. Okay? Once we fix the time to adjourn, we can discuss when do we meet next. If we don't know if it is a special meeting, is it a next regular meeting? So quickly, I'll wrap up with incidental motions. Now, incidental motions have no rankings. They can come anytime as necessary. For example, any rule is broken. I can just get up and say point of order. Now, if the president cannot ignore me when I say point of order, the president has to listen to me. Point of order, Madam President. I think we broke we are under violation. We didn't follow the constitution. Okay, so we can do that. Appeal is something where there is a motion on the floor about one particular member, or it can be about one particular incident. And maybe I'm that member. I want to tell the president, I can appeal. Please, Madam President, can we not discuss this motion? Now, the president has the right to overrule. Sorry, we have to discuss this. It's very important. But if I put this in a form of a motion, then the House will decide whether my appeal is accepted or not. Okay? Point of information. It is little different than point of order. I'm a new member. I need some more information. Will this motion, for example, have a long-term impact, short-term impact? Is this even allowed to be discussed? So these incidental motions, the presiding officers officer should give kind of a quick solution or an answer is expected from them. If the president cannot, they can ask anybody in the team, Mr. VP Education, is that okay what we are doing? Treasurer, do we have that budget? Okay. Suspension of rules. For example, I'm supposed to speak give a report, special report on the nomination of club next year's club elections. I was the nominating chair, leadership chair, and I want to give the report. I have a certain segment in the agenda, but I don't want to wait till that long. You know, I have something urgent. So I can raise this motion to suspend the rules so I can do it and I can leave. I don't have to wait for that item to come in the agenda. Object to consideration of a question. Now, this is a motion where the motion is there, it is adopted, fine, the president says it can be discussed, but somebody with all wisdom can say, you know, if we start discussing this motion, it might create a lot of conflicts in the club. So I would only recommend, let's not discuss this. Let's forget about it. Okay? Division of a question, for example, I move that we go for lunch on Tuesday. Some member can say, can we divide this into 2 questions? We can say, keep Tuesday separate, keep lunch separate. Maybe Tuesday is not good with me. I want to go for lunch, but let's decide what date or what day of the week. Consideration by paragraph. Now, these are motions which are very long. Maybe an ExCom is putting a proposal to the House. Proposal A, B, C, D. We cannot just put it in front of the members and tell them approve all in one set. If the members object, we can break it down into smaller segments, smaller paragraphs. Division of assembly. Any guess what is division of assembly all about? Anyone? So division of assembly is, for example, I'm not sure, I'm the admin manager, I'm the secretary, but I'm not sure, I'm just giving an example, that people who raised hand were 51%, were in majority. So I would say to the president or member would say, please, can we divide the assembly? Can some people rise up if they said yes? When they sit down, divide the house. Exactly. Perfect. Good answer. ExCom and council members. That's also good. What's mentioned there. I want to see how many ExCom, district ExCom are voting for this, just for sake of clarity. So they can stand up first. That's also possible. Now, I don't mean to confuse you by showing you this chart, but just have a quick look at it. You can take a screenshot if you want. You see number 13, the lowest ranking motion is the main motion. And as you go up, the motions become stronger till you reach to the highest ranking, the number 1. Fix the time to which to adjourn. I'll give you an example. That's a privilege motion. Can you interrupt the speaker? No, you cannot. It is required to be seconded. Yes. Okay. Let's check number 4. Raise a question of privilege. Doesn't require second. Call for the orders. Doesn't require second. It says no. Okay. Like that, some motions cannot be amended. To adjourn, we cannot amend that. Okay. Please now answer in the chat. What can an assembly do to correct an action taken? If an action has been taken, motion has been adopted, there are 2 motions which were not in the slides, but if someone has prior knowledge, can write it in the chat. Okay, since time is bad, I'll just give the answer. One type is reconsider a motion, but it should be done in the same meeting. Maybe some people went for recess and they came back and they said, I think we all did a mistake. We approved the motion. It shouldn't have been done this way. Okay, so let's reconsider a motion. So it can be done. Resend a motion previously adopted. If that meeting is over, maybe in the next meeting, next to next meeting, we can bring back that motion to be discussed again in the assembly. Don't do that. It's not a good practice. Okay, it shows the house is not sure of what they are doing. It's all emotional setup, people deciding, wasting time, debating. So it shouldn't become a common practice. This is just an opinion. Can a motion be adopted when many people, members abstain? So for example, we had 10 people who were supposed to vote and 7 abstained. 2 voted yes, 1 voted no. What happens? So once again, I'm putting it in the chat, 7, 10 people, okay? 7 abstained, 2 yes, 1 no. What happens? Okay, motion is lost. I do believe it should not be taken, not taken in consideration. Any other? It looks like only Fatma Abdu, Ola, Dinesh, Khalid, only they are in the forum. What happened to the rest? Elizabeth? Okay, it should be accepted because according to the parliamentary law, you gave up your right not to vote. So this is why sometimes in district proxies, we see yes, no, abstain. I want to take a neutral stand. I don't want to say yes, I don't want to say no. I really am confused. But the moment I abstain, I lose my right. So the people who voted, even 2 voted out of the 10, 7 abstained, the motion is adopted. Okay. Can a member be required to vote on a motion? Can we force anybody to vote on a motion? No, we cannot because we have the right to abstain. They are parliamentary right. Okay. Can a motion be adopted by plurality vote? And what that means? No, it cannot. We have to have the majority, 50% plus 1. I cannot have an election and just say, because this person got the majority, this person wins. It's not possible. Can a presiding officer participate in the debate? No, cannot. They have to let go their position for that time, go down or go sit with the audience or go join the audience, tell somebody else to preside, and only then it's possible. Can a presiding officer introduce a motion? No, they cannot. Even if there is a tie, it comes, that's a different question. If there is a tie, the president has a vote by secret ballot. The president does not break the tie. Okay, that's another question. But can a presiding officer introduce a motion? No, they cannot. They can encourage somebody from the audience to do it. What is an ex officio member? Yes. Nolan, that answer is correct. Absolutely correct. No, it's not the VP education. It could be some past president or a diplomat, okay, a past leader, delegate at large, who has 1 vote, who has 2 votes, has a voting right, depends on the club culture. Okay. Now that's all from my side. Okay, I'm open for questions.
DTM Ali, just wanted to check with you. Are we going for the mock meeting or are we going for the question and answer round?
Okay, both is fine. If the questions are related to theory part, what we just discussed, we can discuss that. Otherwise, we will go for the mock meeting. But I believe let's take at least 3 or 4 questions. So the concept will be clear before people watch the mock question.
In that case, I would request Toastmaster Amanda, can you please take up the question and answer round?
Yes, Toastmaster Srilata. DT Mali, your first question is, can a motion be tabled if it's second?
Yes, it can be. It can be. Yes. And that's the reason the motion which is laid on the table comes later after the main motion is adopted.
Thank you, DT Mali. The next question for you is, how can a club introduce a continuous improvement program of parliamentary procedures in a club? Who can be approached?
Now, for example, that can come up as a motion to the audience that I move that we come up with so-and-so program in the club. But it's always better to go to VP Education personally and tell the VP Education that there is an idea in my mind. Would you discuss this in your XCOM meeting? So XCOM can discuss and bring that idea from their side to the House, which will be practical for such kind of ideas which you are talking about or what's mentioned in this question. Next question, Amanda.
The next question is, do the change in club meeting agenda fall under these parliamentary procedures?
Obviously, yes, it does.
Is there a rule book for parliamentary procedures that we can refer to?
Yes, the book which is recommended by Toastmasters International is Robert Rules of Order, newly revised. That's the latest one.
What is the most effective way to ensure that all club members understand the parliamentary procedures?
It starts from the XCOM. The XCOM must be the role model. It starts from the president, the district director, the area director, division director, past leaders, the IP, DDs, immediate past club president, even if their term is over. Serve as a parliamentarian. Ask your president, can I be a parliamentarian, please? I just want to test my skill, but that does not mean that as parliamentarian, you become the presiding officer. You're just an advisor. So we have to be role models. Only then people will pick it from there.
DT Mali, there's another question. Can majority of the XCOM or members vote to cancel the membership of a member from their club?
Yes, they can do that. Not a good practice, but yes, club constitution and bylaws allows it. Of course, there are certain procedures and protocols to be followed.
Next question. What are the prerequisites for a meeting to be called to order?
The gavel itself is very powerful. Every tap of a gavel has a meaning. So once we tap, when we tap twice, the meeting is called to order. If the meeting is not in order, we can tap thrice. So the meeting is usually called to order. We got to tap the gavel. So this is how it works. If there is no gavel, the president can simply say, and now the meeting is called to order. Okay. That does not mean that there is no gavel or the president didn't do that expression. It's a death sentence. He can or she can still go ahead.
Thank you, DTM Ali. So I will stop my questioning for now and let's proceed with the practical session. And if we have time, I will come back to you with more questions. Back to you, Madam MC.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Amanda. Now, audience, what you are going to witness today, something never happened before. Whenever I have done workshops on parliamentary procedures around the world, I got audience instantly. I just said, you will be the president, you will be VP education, you will be membership. But today is a role model XCOM. The people you see in front of you have worked very hard to give you a very natural demo of what a club level parliamentary procedures looks like. Okay, so this is, they have worked very hard for this, and the MC could introduce them one by one. There might be some mistakes done deliberately, and that's the reason it will be corrected then and there. I would only recommend do not miss on the minor details. You have to pay full attention on what happens. Okay, so something which is happening out of order, it's done simply purposely. Are you all ready? Just give me a thumbs up, our warriors. Perfect. If anything I missed, I would give it to if anything I miss, I would give it to the MC to say. You may go ahead.
DTM Ali, thank you for that. And I just wanted to say one thing. I think all the attendees were asked to stop their videos so we can enjoy the mock session to the full extent. If that's so, then I would request all the audience to stop their videos and let's get into the mock meeting and see all the surprise that we are going to watch and learn through this wonderful session that we are going to have.
Yeah. Madam MC, just one thing for everybody. There is one indication here which I got in the message. These are prerequisites sent to me by our friend Noor. We'll go for quorum first, presiding officers, and then the secretary report. Okay, the minutes basically. Fine, but what we will do, it's okay, we'll adopt the agenda, then we go for the minutes. Okay, so just follow this. It's fine, it's there in the Robert Rules of Order, but most of the times what we see, the president calls the meeting to order, gives a presidential address, and then starts the reporting. But before report, he or she may ask, is there a quorum? But let's follow the Robert Rules of Order completely in this case. Okay, we can leave that to the club culture to decide. There's no big harm. So what we will do, the president can ask the quorum, okay, and then start with the presidential message, call to order and the message. Okay, all the best.
Shall we start?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes. A bit down, if you can raise your voice. Toastmaster Anisha, your voice is a bit low.
Am I audible now, sir?
Yes, you're audible now.
Thank you.
Okay. I call the meeting number 36 of Pro Leaders Toastmasters Club to order. Let me call upon Secretary, Madam Toastmaster Zara, to confirm the quorum for the meeting, please.
Yes, Mr. President. As I can see, we have 17 members attending this meeting out of 20. So yes, we have quorum. Back to you.
Thank you. Before I start, may I request DTM Ali Shabazz Ali to take the role of parliamentarian for this meeting, please?
Yes, I do accept, Mr. President.
Thank you, DTM. Dear members and guests, I'm sure most of you have watched the World Championship of Public Speaking 2020, especially the winner, Toastmaster Michael Carr's speech, Keep Trying. Now, when I heard the speech, I remember a story my grandfather used to tell me when I was small. The story is about a man who was desperately trying to win a lottery prize. Now, every day he will go to God, pray in front of God to win the lottery, but unfortunately, it never happened. 3 months passed, 4 months passed, but he was not winning the lottery. Nonetheless, he has never given up. He
Mr. President, you are on mute.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, but still, he will go to God every day and pray. So one day, God decided to come in front of him. He was pleasantly surprised. He said, "Oh God, thank you for coming here, but please help me to win the lottery." And God said, "Yes, my son, I want to help you to win the lottery, but I need your help." He was like, "My help? I can do anything you want, but just let me win the lottery first." God said, "Yes, the point is, I will help you to win the lottery, but I want you to do one thing. Please go and buy one lottery ticket." Now, this may sound funny, but the lottery ticket for all of us is the message Toastmaster Mike gave to us. Keep trying. Keep trying, keep pushing you, polishing yourself till you reach the success that you all deserve. Now, in this whole world, where else you will find a place where you keep trying and keep failing and still people appreciate you, applaud you? It's Toastmasters. Our founder, today of course is 55th Memorial Day, Dr. Ralph Space Berkeley, he founded this particular organization with that main aim of helping us, pushing us and polishing us. He found this in 1924 in Santa Ana, California. Today this has grown so much in 194 countries, 200,000 members. All of us having that lottery ticket in our hand, and we are keep trying, pushing and developing each of us. Thank you. Before we proceed, may I ask VP Education, is the agenda set?
Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, and our dear guests, good afternoon. Mr. President, I'm happy to announce that the agenda looks perfect. We have all the role players present. You may proceed. Thank you.
Thank you. May I ask someone to approve the agenda?
I, Toastmaster Shushmita, would approve the agenda.
Thank you. Let me now call upon our secretary, Madam Toastmaster Zahra, to read the minutes of the last meeting, please.
Yes, Mr. President, I would like to confirm that all the members, they received a copy of the meeting minutes by email earlier, and today I will go through the main points. Pro Leaders Toastmasters Club conducted a meeting on August 28, 2020. The meeting number was 35 and the theme Magic of New Beginning. 13 members appeared, 4 excused and 3 abstained. We had 2 guests. The meeting started at 1:30 p.m. Toastmaster of the day, DTN Jahangir. General Evaluator, Toastmaster Hina. Table Topic Master, Toastmaster Santosh. Grammarian, Toastmaster Edin. Counter, Toastmaster Kurish. Timer, Toastmaster Dinesh. We had 2 prepared speeches delivered by first DTN Zahra with the speech title Life is a Journey. The second speech, Toastmaster Anusha, with the speech title The Art of Giving. The table topic master was DTM Ali Shahbaz Ali, and we had 4 speakers. First, guest Dalal Ali, Toastmaster Amal Murad, Toastmaster Maryam Amir, Toastmaster Anusha. and 2 evaluators, DTM Ali Shahbaz and DTM Jahangir Khan. The best table topic speaker, guest Delal. The best evaluator, DTM Ali Shahbaz. Best speaker, DTM Zahra. And the meeting was adjourned at 4 p.m. Back to you, Mr. President.
My name is pronounced and spelled wrong, and this is not the first time that this is happening.
Apologies, Toastmaster Alan. Madam Toastmaster Secretary, can we correct the minutes for the name?
Sure, it will be done. And Toastmaster Ellen, please accept my apologies.
Thank you. If there are no further amendments, can I seek members' approval for passing the minutes of the meeting, please?
Mr. President, I, Toastmaster Shushmita Rao, would approve the minutes of the meeting number 35 with the amendments mentioned.
Thank you. Can I have someone to second the approval, please?
Mr. President.
Seconded. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's now move to the officers' report. I would now request our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Dinesh, to give his report, please.
Thank you, President, and good evening, fellow Toastmasters. First, please be informed, because of the COVID-19, we were not meeting at club meeting venue at Hotel Paradise. So I picked up all the equipments and the assets of our club, and they are quite safe with me. I also have listed all the items with me, and if required, I shall pass it to the club anytime. Second, the monthly Zoom subscription has been paid, so we need not worry about getting disconnected after the 40 minutes time frame. And Mr. President, I have a great idea. I propose that the club pay our district conference fee for all members. Thank you.
I love the idea. I think we should go for it.
Sergeant at Arms, this is only officers' report. Any proposals or ideas can be discussed later. So let us only focus on the officers' report right now. Thank you. May I now request our treasurer, Toastmaster Santosh, to give his report, please.
Yes, a warm good afternoon, Mr. President. As a treasurer, it's my report. Out of 20 members, 17 members already renewed. Now 3 members are pending. I've intimated all the club members, and we have 3 more new members proposal is there, which I've informed them on email and WhatsApp and chat and all. The money collected, which is already transferred to TMI. And that's my treasurer report. And I won't accept such a proposal which is made by Sergeant at Arms, which is against the club.
Mr. Treasurer, it's not a proposal yet, so let's not discuss that at this point of time. So focus only on the officer's report. Thank you for your report. May I now request...
Excuse me, Mr. President, I have paid some money earlier for some members, which I didn't get it back.
Mr. Treasurer, why do you pay for others? Mr. President?
Yeah, this is something that we can take up during the next session, the new business session. Right now, we are only focusing on the officer's report. So please hold on to your discussions. Let us focus only on the officer's report. Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. Let me now welcome our Secretary, Madam Toastmaster Zahra, to give her report, please.
Yes, Mr. President. All the officer reports have been uploaded and the digital guest book is sent on the chat.
Thank you. Let me now welcome our VP PR, Madam Toastmaster Hannah, for her report, please.
Good afternoon, President. I'm going to submit my verbal report here. We reached our monthly target of 500 followers on Instagram organically, and our Facebook page is set up with automated replies. All our images are now Toastmasters International compliant, and I've created flyers for all our meetings for the upcoming month, and I would request all members to kindly repost or forward it among their contacts as and when I share them. The format for the newsletter for the meeting is ready. However, I need our members to contribute articles.
Point of order. The previous newsletter was not as per the branding guidelines. So please be careful.
I agree with Toastmaster Alan. Even I noticed in the newsletter, in one of the pages, the Toastmaster logo was tilted. I think Toastmasters have strict guidelines and they have their
Exactly.
Really, are you sure? All our designs get a prior approval before they're sent out. I needed to authenticate your claims before you put it up
I'm
here.
definitely sure
Well,
because
respected members, dear VPPR, let me tell you, we have not received any communication from the district or division in this matter. So whatever we are discussing now is more of speculation. So we can do it after the meeting actually. So let's focus on the officer's report right now. Thank you, VPPR, for your report. Let me now welcome VP membership, Toastmaster Anusha. Can we have your report, please?
Yes, of course. Respected President, as VP membership, it's my duty to recruit new members to our club. And my dear fellow Toastmasters, kindly try to bring more guests to our club. If not, just give their contact numbers to me. I will try to persuade them and make them join our club. And I'm delighted to welcome 2 new members for this meeting. Over to you, President.
Was the induction done for these new members?
Thank you, Toastmaster Alan. That's a good point. We can keep this discussion again in the new business session. But in the meantime, I would request membership to check the status and keep the update ready. Thank you for your report. Let's now focus on the officer's report. I would request of VP Education, Toastmaster Jahangir Khan. Can we have your report, please?
Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests, good afternoon once again. As a VP Education, it's my responsibility to make sure that the members are reaching their educational goals. And I'm really happy to announce that all our members are following the Excel sheet, the program which we had for the first quarter. So all the members are following the role players are assigned well in advance, and we are following that. At the same time, I have 2 announcements for our club members. Our club has agreed to support our area on the suggested date with $100. Also, we have decided to have our first contest of the season that is going to be on 1st of January 2021 for the Tall Tale contest. So I wish everyone all the best for our Tall Tale contest. And these are the announcements and the reports from my side, Mr. President.
Mr. President, point of order. Has this motion been approved by the club membership?
Yes, I would like to inform that this is the decision that we have taken in the executive committee meeting to support area contest with $100 as mentioned by VP Education. It's part of the ExCom minutes, which will be tabled for approval from the members in the next meeting. So I would request members to hold on to your points for debate or discussion till we submit the ExCom minutes for approval. Thank you, VP Education. That brings to the end of officer's report. Let's move to the special committee report. We have appointed Toastmaster Vandana as the audit committee chair for conducting audit of our last year's accounts. May I request Toastmaster Vandana to give a report, please?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. We are in a kind of situation where the past treasurer didn't submit his financial details to the auditor. So we have a delay in audit report. The new treasurer doesn't have any idea about the financials, and therefore there is a delay in September renewals. Unmute, Mr. Unmute.
Who is
I agree with Toastmaster Vandana because I have noticed that whenever the president asks any question on the group related to finance, the treasurer never responds. I'm sure he doesn't have any idea, and no wonder he doesn't respond. He barely responds on any financial queries by the president. So I think, yeah, he does not have much idea about it.
Point of order. We must remove the treasurer from this position with immediate effect.
Excuse me, Mr. Allen, what I have done wrong in this? I have renewed all the members.
You're not doing anything.
Mr. Treasurer, Toastmaster Allen, let me interfere here. I cannot accept this particular motion because our treasurer, Toastmaster Santosh, despite not having adequate information from the previous treasurer, has been doing a tremendous job. Yes, we have limitations. We are not able to get the information from the previous treasurer for whatever reason. We have been trying our level best. I can tell you that I will send one final mail to the previous treasurer and wait for his response. So I would seek some more time. Probably by the next meeting, we'll be able to get some input from our previous treasurer and can update the club on the status. So I would request members to hold till the next meeting. We have sent one mail and let's see what happens.
Yes, Mr. President, we should know the issue. Why is this delay being caused? Maybe because of the COVID situation. You're right.
Yes, Toastmaster Sushmita, I really appreciate your inputs. Now that brings us to the end of special committee report. We move on to unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business from the last meeting?
Yes, Mr. President. I would like to bring back the previous motion on hybrid membership. I move that not to accept the hybrid membership post-COVID, but only go for physical attendance. Over to you, President.
Mr. President, I object to this proposal as we are doing really well with our virtual meetings. We now have members from all across the world, and this has added a world of value for us. We can't afford to lose this experience.
Thank you. I really appreciate your inputs. Is there anyone to second the motion given by Toastmaster Anusha? 3, 2, 1. As I couldn't see anyone second the motion of Toastmaster Anusha, this particular motion stands cancelled, defeated. So that's the end of unfinished business. Let's now move to the new business. The floor is now open for members to bring up any point for discussion. Yes.
As per the announcement of the VP Education to support the area contest, why weren't we, the members, consulted on the area contest dates and the tall face contest dates? I move a motion to delay the area contest by 3 weeks.
No.
Toastmaster Alan, yes. Members, we have a motion. Is there anyone going to second this motion for moving area contest by 3 weeks? 3, 2, 1. There's no one to second the motion, so the motion gets dropped here. Is there any other business for discussion?
Mr. President, in fact, still have to get some money back from the members. Could you please suggest some solutions for that?
Point of order. Why was it paid without consulting us?
Toastmaster Alan, it was already consulted with the President before I paid.
Yes, let me interfere here. Dear members, I have spoken to these members and they are committed to renew their membership. Based on their commitment, we have decided to go ahead with the renewals. A Toastmasters commitment cannot be discounted. It has to be taken at face value. And I am sure that once they commit, they are going to fulfill it. So we are following up with them. Let's wait and see what happens. If there is any development, we will keep you posted.
Mr. President, point of information. I need a clarification. How did we allow 2 members to join the club without any inductions done? Any explanation?
Yes, Toastmaster Hena. We have mentioned in the WhatsApp group that we are getting 2 new members, and if there is anyone going to object it, and we couldn't see any objections, so we decided to go ahead to pay their fees. Anyhow, we will be bringing them back to the club in the next meeting and doing induction. If there is any objections at that time, we have to see. So right now, I have no questions, no answers to your question, except for saying that it's updated in the WhatsApp group.
If the club now indexes the members, and in case the members are voted out, what happens to the money already paid to Toastmasters International?
Well, Toastmaster Alan, it's a good point. We have asked for the members' objections in the WhatsApp group, but no objections came through. So we believe that there will be no objections when we actually induct them in the club. We will know only when we bring them for induction in the next meeting. So till the time, like you, I also wait for the answer. Any other
Mr.
business?
President.
Yes.
Mr. President, this is the VP Education. There is a serious matter in our club. There are few members who do deliver speeches in our club. However, we don't get the DCB point. They give it to the other clubs. So how are we going to...
Point of order. It is the members' right to give credit anywhere they like.
Well, yes, I do agree that it's members' right to give the point wherever they want. It's up to them to decide. But when they give a commitment to our VP education, and of course, our VP education is doing a fantastic job, trying to keep our club's glory always in its high. So when a member commits to our VP education to give the point that they have achieved to our club, it is expected that they fulfill that commitment. That's the only appeal we have, and that's exactly what VP education is also asking. If you are not committed and you still achieve something and you want to give the credit to some other club, we are not going to force you to give it to us. But if you are given a commitment, please help VP education to achieve the goal and serve us better. That's my appeal. Thank you. Do we have any other discussion?
Yes, Mr. President. I would like to move a motion. Globally, the financial situation has become worse. So I would like to move that the club to return money to our members, which they have paid for the district conference, considering the pandemic situation. What do you say, Mr. President?
I second the motion. I am for it.
Well, members, we have a motion in our hand. It's been proposed and seconded, a motion to pay the district conference fees. Now, because of lack of time, I would request one member to speak in favor and one member to speak against, and then we will go for voting. So I would request the person to speak in favor. Can you please come forward?
Yes, it's me, President. The economic and financial conditions of most of the companies are not quite stable. So it's the time that many of our people have lost their jobs. Though the amount whatever has been paid for the district conference is little, but it's our duty to return the money to our club members. Over to you, President.
Okay, can we have someone who is going to speak against? Can you come forward, please?
Yes, Mr. President, I'm the treasurer. I'm totally against the idea of a Toastmaster which is made on the floor. And we don't have enough money to return to any members. Since our club budget constraints, there's no way, such way that we can return money to the members.
We don't care about all those things. We want our money and we want it right now.
Sorry, Toastmaster Alan. As I said in the beginning, one person to speak in favor and one to speak against, which is being done. Now, members, the motion is in front of you for voting. I would request you to consider all the points and then go for voting. Send a private chat, your vote yes or no, to our secretary, Madam Toastmaster Zara. I hope you have done your voting. Madam Secretary, Toastmaster Zara, have you received all the votes?
President. So I would like to confirm that I received 3 votes in favor, 14 opposed. Motion is defeated. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Secretary. So the motion is stands defeated. Do we have any other?
Mr. President, I, Toastmaster Shushmita, would like to move a motion to remove the membership of member Toastmaster Alan. He is a nuisance most of the time in our business sessions. Mr. President.
I, Toastmaster Quresh, will be delighted to second this motion.
Well, Toastmasters, it appears that we have a motion in hand. But let me tell you, this is not a subject that club can decide like this. This comes under disciplinary proceedings. Before we remove a member, we have to follow certain protocols. Maybe I can probably ask our parliamentarian to confirm. Mr. Parliamentarian?
Mr. President, this motion would go against our club leadership handbook and even governing documents. There is a procedure to discipline a member, and it will create only ill feeling if we go ahead with this motion. So it's in the best interest not to take it into consideration, please.
Thank you, Mr. Parliamentarian. So we have a specific protocol to follow for disciplining a member. Every member is important to the club. So this motion cannot go further. So we drop it here and we will discuss it separately in the ExCom to see what we can do with this particular thing. If there is no other meeting, no other points for discussion, I can wrap the meeting. Thank you. Thank you all for your support and ExCom for your fantastic job that you have been doing. As I said in the beginning, the lottery ticket in our hand, keep trying. And we keep trying every time we come to the meeting to polish ourselves, to push ourselves, to reach that success that we all deserve. And that's the goal for all of us in this club. With that, I adjourn the meeting number 36 and would request Mr. Parliamentarian to give his feedback.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I believe the audience can give them a thunderous round of applause. Amazing job. Thank you very much. So, organizers, DCD, should we go ahead? Can I go ahead with my comments? Okay. So now we can switch on the cameras. And this was very impressive demo done by our warriors here. At times, people run away from such a situation where they will have to give a demo on parliamentary procedures. It's a vast subject. Like, for example, I got a message from DTM Noor, more information about quorum. One of the scripts which he sent me from Robert Rules of Order, there must be a quorum. Without quorum, we cannot go ahead at all. So always try your best that you give enough ample time notice to your members that there is a business session, it is happening. Yes, if there are 2-3 times the quorum is not met, after notices, the election date is going, the club cannot have its election. In that case, the club can reach out to TI or reach out to your district for information. In that case, you can probably announce it officially. If next meeting there is no quorum, we will go ahead, then we'll ratify it by email if there is no option left. Okay, so we cannot wait for forever to get a quorum. But try your best. You have a quorum, so you have a healthy decision-making process. So with no quorum, no business session can have a healthy transaction done. It's not possible. So, any questions? While the questions are coming in, is there anybody who will be looking at the questions? Is it going to be Amanda?
Toastmaster Amanda is looking at the questions. May I request Toastmaster Amanda?
Yes, Madam MC.
While the questions are coming in, I would just once again appreciate what our dummy ExCom has done today. You did a wonderful job. Now, audience, you might have noticed in some places the motions were accepted, some were not seconded. The proper flow of giving officers reports. We couldn't find a troublemaker until we got this brave heart Alan who took it up. And if you also noticed, nobody was addressing each other by name immediately. They were all talking to Mr. President first. So it's just a culture we need to build, not to take things personally. Don't look at each other like it's my opinion, your opinion. Address everything to the president. The president is the facilitator. Okay, so questions, please.
Yes, DJ Mali. So we have received few questions.
Okay, you may go ahead, please.
Toastmaster Amanda?
I think Toastmaster Amanda is facing connection difficulties.
Okay.
Yes, I guess so. So the audio is not on. However, let me look at the chat. There are not many questions in the chat. Anyone who would like to raise a question, can you please raise your hand, and we'll give you the opportunity to raise your question, to ask questions. Or you can also put it in the chat box.
I believe people were enjoying the demo so much that they are totally lost, and I can see a lot of thanks coming for our XCOM members. I was lost. I was just enjoying all the hard work done by them and a good display.
Yeah, there is a question, DTM Ali. Agenda or anything cannot be approved directly, rather has to be proposed and seconded. That's a question.
If the agenda, for example, I have the agenda in front of me, and I can ask the VP Education, are there any changes? The VP Education has confirmed there are no changes. I can tell the audience, if no objections, we can go ahead. If we are going to go very, very serious, for everything moving and seconding, it will be a long meeting. So if there is no objection from the House, it's understood. Let's go ahead. The President can, or the presiding officer can still say, if there are no objections, we will keep the agenda as it is and we'll move ahead. No objections, 3, 2, 1. Okay, it's adopted. So in the minutes, it's adopted. Unless somebody has an objection. No, please, you have to go for a motion. Now that takes time. So parliamentary procedures are there to even make our life easier. So anybody has an objection, get up and say, I have an objection. Okay, something more has to be changed. But if nothing has to be changed, it's okay, just go ahead. Yes, but for minutes, it's a stricter rule. It has to be approved. It has to be seconded. It has to be approved. Because minutes are something which goes into record. Some member got up and said this on that day. So it's a serious thing, serious document. You might have to come back to it after a few months. That who was the one who proposed this opinion? Let's talk to that person. Yeah.
Thank you, DTM Ali. I see Toastmaster Amanda is back, and since we have got some time, Toastmaster Amanda, do you have any questions?
Yes, we do have questions. I'm sorry, there was a small error with my connection. So let me go with the question. When should the business session be held? In the beginning of the meeting or the end of the meeting?
It doesn't really matter. It again depends on the club culture. If the meeting, if the club decides that today members are going to be a little late due to traffic, whatever reason, keep it at the end. I always suggest keep it in the beginning, because what if some members leave? They don't want to stay back. If you are keeping it to the end, also there is one advantage. For example, if there is club elections or a sensitive thing to be discussed. So when I was the president, I used to tell our guests, take their feedback, thank you, thank them very much, take a 5 minutes break, let them have some coffee and then leave. Because we need to discuss some sensitive details in our XCOM. Only presidents can hear.
Before I proceed to my next question, I think our District Director DTM Mohammed Salim has raised his hand. DTM Mohammed Salim, you can ask your question, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Toastmaster Amanda. There was a question before that how, as a club, we can improve our parliamentary procedure workshop actually. Now, we had a club which did the mock session actually. Clubs like this are the better place where we can have more parliamentary workshop practically being practiced actually. That's what my opinion, because we cannot conduct parliamentary sessions unless we put it into practice actually. My suggestion is that most of the clubs don't adopt the actual method. We just try to brush around and we just try to be more diplomatic. Clubs like this are the right place where we can learn a lot of parliamentary procedures, because I remember back in 2007 we did a lot of homework when we had an issue with our club, and this is wherein members learn. When you have a lot of when you start, because what happens is that the members do get frustrated telling that no, we don't need to have such discussions, such heated discussions really destroy the harmony of the club. But the purpose itself is to have more diverse thoughts coming into the club, and so that members follow at one point of time that there is somebody to question if we are going on a wrong track, actually, because members are not aware. Later they come back and say that, no, this happened in our club. Why did this happen? This should not have happened. Yes, we do agree, but during the business session, the members could have been more aware of it, actually. So more questioning during the business. It shouldn't be like we have, most of the clubs conduct business session for just 3 to 4 minutes. The minutes are read, officers' reports are read. Okay, thank you very much. We move on to the business session. I think on and off, they should go on for a heated debate or go into detailed business session so that we can learn the art of the parliamentary procedures. That's what my suggestion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DTM Mohammed Salim. DTM Ali, we have another question. How can we amend a protocol a club is following for inducting new members?
For inducting new members, Amanda, we have only one thing is voting in a new member. That is clearly laid down in the club constitution, that members have to vote in new members. Membership cannot just, or nobody in the ExCom can take a membership ID, pay money and renew or enroll the member in the club. They have to come in through a proper channel where they have to be voted in. Now, talking about inducting a new member, it depends on club culture. Some clubs do it with a grand induction, 4 members together. They give a kit to them. Some give a certificate. Some give a club history file or packet to them for them to know. So induction is one thing, voting is another. But at times we see people, what we saw today, we wanted to induct 2 members in next meeting, but they were not voted in. And that was a shock today. When did they join? Nobody knows. Was this a hidden agenda to get in more members in to vote for some proposal? That's not allowed. We have to vote in members. There's a procedure to follow. And some cases which we have seen, there has been instances where people have come in and everybody's shocked. Excuse me, when did this person join? You see? So that's a bad practice. We should vote in people.
So to follow up with that answer, DTM Ali, would that depend on a quorum to vote in a new member?
Yes, they should be voted in by the majority. The majority of members.
Okay, thank you. Does a motion have to be proposed and seconded in any case?
Most of the motions, as I showed the chart, it has to be proposed and seconded. There are only few motions which don't need to be seconded, like point of order, for example.
Can the division or district create an e-learning material for members to benefit from it?
I think that our district official can answer. Maybe we have the DD or the PQD, PGD here.
Can we have DTM Mohammed Salim to answer?
I see
I was muted, actually. I couldn't respond.
DTM Mohammed Salim, your...
Yeah, fine. Okay. This is a wonderful suggestion. We need to really look into this, what goes in, because I think we already have the handbook, which is for a club level. I think we can really manage with that. More and more workshops from the clubs and the divisions would really educate our members. We will surely look into it. As far, I would like to have the PQD, speak on this, because she is handling and she's already, I believe, here. Yeah, I would like leave it to the PQD now to answer, and she's handling the training. But I would encourage more workshops of similar nature so that we can all learn the parliamentary procedure. Thank you.
Thank you, Didi, and whoever has got this suggestion, it's quite thoughtful. Well, to accumulate the entire procedures and the training material, it will require time. I can do it as a team effort. I would request DTM Ali Shahbaz Ali and the various division directors to help me with this to compile it for the district members. If I have an efficient team and if we can do it, definitely it will be there for our members. But on another other hand, I have been talking to my team and we were planning to release some short videos, some tips and tricks on best practices regarding especially on this particular workshop, best practices on each role, a tip and trick there, or a quick tip on business session, or how to conduct a particular, how to handle a particular motion. So if I'm just trying to collect data based on that, and if I get enough data, I will compile it and surely give it.
Thank you, DTM Alifia. DTM Ali, we have another question for you. What action should be taken when you know as a member that this is not the right parliamentary procedure to follow, especially in the elections?
Well, we must have a strong parliamentarian, whether the club elections or the district election. It should be planned well. It takes months of hard work. For example, the district, when it was announced in the previous DTEC or district conference that we are going to go for virtual elections, a lot of work was done by districts, at least in Region 11. We had to train them on e-balloter, on softwares mentioned by Toastmasters International. Some districts picked different software, some different. We had to check the quality, how integrity would be measured with these kind of tools. Will it be still secret ballots? So all that is required. And still, after doing all this, things can still go wrong, but preparation is everything. And if something still went wrong, the moment the district council or the club president adjourns the meeting, that's it. Everything after that is a learning experience. It's like a speech contest. Once the judges give their decision, it's final. Then in Toastmasters, everything goes to the next route, which is learning experience.
Let me move on to the next question. With respect to adding members to the club and members voting in members, does it also apply to reinstating members?
For reinstating members, yes, once they are out of the club, the meaning of reinstate is getting in them as a new member. So they also have to go through the same procedure. Unless the club culture has changed, they have decided if an old member is coming in, by default, we will just renew them. The clubhouse has to decide on that process. Then it's fine.
And I have one more question to our District Director, DTM Mohammed Salim. Is DTM Mohammed Salim in?
While the DD comes in, I see a question in the chat box from Siham.
I think we answered that question. What's the status of the president added a new member to the group without consulting the ExCom or the members? Why don't we have a handout for parliamentary procedures to distribute for all clubs?
That's a good question. Now, every club will start walking around with the parliamentary procedures book. It's a huge book with a lot of information. What information you need, it's there in the club leadership handbook. When you open that, most of it is there. So please read the club constitution and bylaws downloaded from the Toastmasters site and follow the club leadership handbook. When and where, when to have elections, how to do it, induction process, it's all mentioned there. And still, if we go ahead and do this kind of, whether we did it innocently or malpractice of getting in somebody without informing the house, I mean, we cannot punish that member, but we can seriously inform Toastmasters International. Let them decide what to do next. Or talk to your district.
So DTM Ali, there's another question. Can the presiding officer vote in case there is a tie on a motion vote?
The president already gets a chance to vote because the president is very much the member of the club, but going for second vote, that's not still allowed. It's not still practiced. Maybe someday TI might allow it, like what happens in the area council. But in the club, no. Only one vote for every member, regardless whether it's president or VP education or any other officer.
What will be the scenario if we conduct a meeting with a reverse agenda?
As far as everything goes reverse, it's absolutely fine, but we should not go reverse on the rules. So I would suggest in reverse agenda meeting, finish your business session first or keep it towards the end and keep it as a separate part. Enjoy the meeting and then have a proper business session.
So thank you, DTM Ali. Those are the questions I have received so far, and we haven't received any more questions. So
yeah, I believe that's all for today. Thank you very much. Amanda, over to you.
Thank you, DTM Ali Shehbaz. Kudos to you sincerely for three things, I must say. First of all, you have broken down such a complex topic into a simplistic way that we as a normal Toastmasters could understand, and with such a lovely example as a lunch with a lunchbox or a dinner, with such a simple example, you have made us all understand. That's the first point, I must say. The second thing is, again, getting this entire practical session that made us more clear actually to understand the entire theory, even if we have missed out something. So again, thank you for that. Thank you to all the role players. Such a drama that was created. I could see from the chat, the messages that were coming in. DTM Alan, no one is going to forget you. I'm sure of that. Toastmaster Sushmita, all the action that you've created, actually, we thoroughly enjoyed. We had the fun and we did understand and we did learn. I'm sure all the Toastmasters also feel so. So thank you once again. DTM Ali, and thank you all the trainers for this wonderful 3 sessions that you have conducted. We all could really learn a lot from all the 3 sessions that you have done today. Thank you. So I see that most of the participants I have left, at least half of them I have left, but still I would definitely like to give that crossword that we have. We had 2 clues resolved, so I have the left of the clues. Now I would see from the remaining participants how many have attentively and carefully listened to all the sessions, and who is going to be the first person who is going to fill the crossword and send it out. So let me quickly share that file with you. Here we go. So you're going to get the crossword. It has all the clues, just in case if you have missed the previous clues as well. So get set, go. Let's see who's going to come up with the completed crossword. Yes, so Toastmasters, well, the training is done, and I'm sure everyone has enjoyed the sessions and learned a lot. So we do need, as one of the Toastmasters, TMOD was mentioning, we do need to have a little pat on our back because we have conducted this entire training sessions. Well, thanks to all the role players and the team members, of course, the trainers. So to do the appreciation and awards, let me welcome this Toastmaster, English language lecturer at the University of Bahrain, and a member of one of the oldest Toastmaster clubs in Manama Toastmasters. She competed at district level in international evaluation and also the table topic contest, and won the second place in the DTAC 2018 table topic contest. Please welcome on screen Toastmaster Bilyana. Her dedication could be seen. She was not very well yesterday, but still she came up and took this role and did complete justice to the role. Toastmaster Bilyana, welcome on the screen, and it is yours now. Toastmaster Bilyana, can you hear us? Moderator, can you let me know if Toastmaster Bilyana is there in the meeting?
Madam Master of Ceremonies, she is in the meeting.
Toastmaster Bilyana, can you please unmute yourself and say if you are able to hear?
I think now you can hear me, right? Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies. As you said, it is time now to acknowledge the contribution of those without whom this event would not have been possible. It is time to present the certificates. So let's begin. First, DTM Ali Shahbaz Ali, presenter. DTM Rashid Maymoon, backup presenter. TM Snehal Savant, presenter. DTM Noor Mohammed, presenter. DTM Khalid Jalal, DTM Roshan Lewis, backup presenter. DTM Khalid Jalal, Guidance Committee Head. DTM Roshan Lewis, Chief Advisor. DTM Meenakshi Sundaram, Role Player President. DTM Jahangir Khan, Role Player VP Education. TM Anusha Sunda Rajan, Role Player VP Membership. TM Henna Zia Azmi, Role Player VP PR. DTM Zahra Al-Muharrak, Role Player Secretary. TM Santosh Pathros, Role Player Treasurer. TM Dinesh Kumar Pal, Role Player Sergeant at Arms. DTM Alan Paul, Role Player Active Member. TM Sushmita Rao, Role Player Active Member. TM Kuresh Dola, Role Player Active Member. TM Jamaluddin Sheikh, Backup Role Player. TM Monica Varma Saha, Backup Role Player. TM Ronnie John, Timer. TM Srilata Godavarti, Master of Ceremonies. Yours truly, TM Bilyana Davcheva, Chief Sergeant at Arms. TM Akbar Khan, Head of IT and Moderator. TM Amanda Rabot, Head of Registration. TM Abhishek Patil, Head of Public Relations. TM Sushmita Rao, Head of Education. And last but not least, the mastermind of the whole event, the chairperson, TM Vandana Satish. Thank you very much, and back to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bilyana, for taking your role and also doing the appreciation and awards. Thank you very much. Fellow Toastmaster, I'm getting the messages in the chat box, but I expect it to be much more better. I'm still not getting the complete crossword. It's only bits and pieces. So still you have a little bit of time left. I am sure we'll get all the answers. I'm very curious to see how much attentive you were throughout all the sessions. As we come to the end of this session, now I would like to welcome on screen the past Area 2 Director, past President of TKS Toastmasters, winner of Division C Evaluation, Table Topic and International Speech Contest, an educational consultant, and a very dynamic and energetic leader, as you must have seen during the role play today. Toastmaster Sushmita, welcome you on the screen to give vote of thanks.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lata. All right. Vote of thanks. You won't believe I had just logged off and I was like panicking. I wanted to do this badly. So bear with me for 4 minutes, Toastmasters, and let me just take the opportunity here. Honorable dignitaries and most valued guests, it's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of Division C District 20. We want to express our gratitude to the Honorable Chief Guest, the Second Vice President, DTM Morag Mathewson, for gracing this event with her presence. Heartfelt thanks to the 3 musketeers of District 20, namely District Director DTM Mohammed Salim, Program Quality Director, the charming DTM Alifia, and Club Growth Director DTM Khalid Abdullah. Not to forget Toastmaster Vijay Gittins, the district official, for taking care of our rehearsals. We had amidst us today 3 Toastmasters who not only educated our minds, but educated our hearts with their presentation skills. Especially, they enriched us so professionally during the question and answer round. Thanks to the enigmatic DTM Ali Shehbaz Ali for the theory and the practical presentation of the parliamentary procedures. Thanks for overlooking our practices as well. Thanks to DTM Noor Mohammed for accepting the responsibility with so much zeal. And finally, our lady presenter of the day, elegant Toastmaster Snehal Sawant, who rejuvenated us with her anecdote of Toastmaster of the Day practices. Moving on, let me express my gratitude to the role players of the parliamentary procedures, without whose support this innovative act would not have been possible. Namely, the dynamic mock president, DTM Meenakshi Sundaram, the dashing VP Education, DTM Jahangir Khan, the docile Toastmaster Anusha Sunrajan, the dainty Toastmaster Hena Zia, the dependable treasurer Toastmaster Santosh Patros, of course, the diligent secretary DTM Zara, and the dauntless Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Dinesh Kumar. And the members, the dutiful one was Toastmaster Vandana, the dexterous Toastmaster Alan, the delightful Toastmaster Quresh, and the dramatic one, Toastmaster Shushmita Rao. Well, a big thanks for taking us by storm, Toastmaster Lata, the enchanting MC whose creativity knew no bounds, followed by the energetic timer, Toastmaster Ronnie. Thanks to you as well. From the bottom of my heart, let me extend our gratefulness to the backup team of the Fantastic Four, namely DTM Roshan, DTM Rashid Mehmoon, Toastmaster Monica, Toastmaster Jalaluddin. And bridging the gap of the Brexit practices was the energetic team led by the magnanimous, magisterial DTM Khalid Jalal Division C Director, the meticulous event chairperson, Toastmaster Vandana, the magnificent head of education, Toastmaster Shushmita, and the majestic head of PR, Toastmaster Abhishek Patel, the marvelous head of IT, who acted as a moderator as well, Toastmaster Akbar Khan, and the master of registration, Toastmaster Amanda, and the magnetic Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Bilyana. Well, we often take for granted the very things that deserve our gratitude. As we express our gratitude, let me say, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. So, dear fellow Toastmasters and audience, thank you so much for being the ones to learn best practices for the Quality Club meetings, which I'm sure you shall take up in your respective clubs in the days to come. Back to you, MC.
you, Toastmaster Sushmita. You kept the energy throughout the vote of thanks, and we are definitely going to come to you for probably learning English. The way you've used the words were marvelous, I would say. So with that, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Wonderful leaders. I did learn a lot from all of you, each one of you, I would say. Thank you to the entire team. And with that, I hand over the control back to the Division C Director, DTM Khalid. And of course, I have given the answers to in the chat box.
Thank you, our IT controller, for unmuting me. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Srilata. No doubt, every start comes to an end, but every end comes with the hope of a new start. Although we have come to end of this training session, but I'm sure every one of us in this training has taken something with us which we can take to our clubs, try to improve whatever small possible. So with small improvement, we can bring the large improvements in our club and in ourselves as individuals or as Toastmasters or as leaders. Let's review the Toastmaster of the Day role, the General Evaluation role, and the Parliamentary Procedure roles in our clubs, and communicate with each other. That's why we are in Toastmasters, to communicate and see what are the areas, what type of support required. Let's talk to each other, let's connect, and let's network, and let's grow with each other and improve ourselves and our community. And let's make Toastmaster a more fun platform for all of us. I'd like to thank our PQD, because without her initial idea, this event wouldn't have been possible. Would have waited for many more months to organize such an event, but thanks to her, she came with the idea very fast, and we were able to complete this event. And thanks to all the team who took part in this particular training, who worked with the event chair, Toastmaster Vandana, and made this event successful. Now, I'd like to thank the entire team and the guests from all around the world who came to attend this training and honored us and made this event successful. Thank you very much. But before I conclude, let me announce that we have the same training in Arabic language for those who speak Arabic or wants to improve their Arabic in some way or the other. Please join the meeting tomorrow as well. I have shared the link in the chat, so please attend and encourage all the members as well. Now, before I adjourn the meeting, can I see distinguished Toastmaster Alan Paul? Can I see him raising his hand? Can you unmute yourself?
Yes. Yes, Division C Director.
Master Alan Paul, you have been very, very tough today. Despite that, everyone liked you, and I'm very glad. But now,
Point of order.
Point of order. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Meeting is adjourned, but if you want to have any question answer, we are all here. We can take all the questions still. If you want to leave, feel free. If you want to stay and ask questions, you're all welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, for all the support and all the training and all the duties you have fulfilled to the fullest of your abilities. Can I talk, actually?
Meeting is adjourned.
Yeah, yeah. Can I share the video? Can I share the video, sir?
Yes, please.
It is not